Yep.
The notes had Pat as the analyst.
Something must have changed.
And take you inside Baylor baseball. And now, let's go live to the booth with Derek Smith.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, where tonight the Bears return home to begin a 4-game homestand, taking on the Mavericks of UT Arlington. Baylor defeated UTA in Arlington back on the 7th of April and are back in action tonight, trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. Pleased to have you with us on this Tuesday evening alongside Tom Barfield. I am Derek Smith. Cameron Savoy, our producer at our studios. Thanks for joining us here on this muggy Tuesday evening on the Brazos, where the Bears will try to get back to their winning ways. Tom, just a little over a week ago, the Bears were in pretty good shape. They had defeated TCU in the opening game of that pivotal 3-game series. They had a 4-0 lead in the second game of the weekend, but as we all know, they couldn't close that one out, and since then have yet to win a game. And we can talk about a lot of things, whether that be Big 12 standings, which obviously aren't impacted by tonight, whether that be Baylor's chances for getting to the postseason. But right now, this is a team that just needs to win. It needs to high-five after a game. And, right now, that 6-game losing streak, the longest of the year, and the only goal should be to get that, to finish that off tonight.
And I may take it a step further, Derek. I think this is a team that just flat-out needs to play well, and they haven't done that. They were competitive and in the ball game Saturday afternoon at Arizona State, but they didn't play particularly well, particularly on offense. And really, they went to Arizona State out in Tempe, Phoenix, whatever you want to call it, and just got beat by a team that played better that weekend, and that's all you can basically say about it. And thus, you're on a 6-game slide, and it's the worst time in the world to be on a skid because you're running out of opportunities to fix things and get the corner turned and get back to playing good baseball.
Yeah, this is a team that is going to have to string wins together, which is probably at odds with what I said about one game at a time, but here's the reality. You can't string wins together until you get that one, and right now the team needs to get that one. It's a team the Bears defeated up in Arlington 5-2 on the 7th of April. UT Arlington has struggled this season, and right now you really need to have no mercy, no sympathy. Go out there and play your best game, and that should be good enough. But it should have been last week, and they didn't get it done down in Huntsville.
Well, and I think Mitch Thompson's message to his team was, hey, fellas, I get it hurt that we lost in the first game of the doubleheader against TCU. I get it. We had the game in hand and we didn't win. I get it. But you're letting that game turn into the next game, so on and so forth, and you haven't recovered, and you've got to recover. If you want to do what you set out to do at the beginning of the year, and what you're more than capable of doing, and that is to get to postseason play. And I'm not talking Big 12 tournament. I'm talking NCAA tournament. You have the skill set. You have the resume right now to get there. But you have to put what happened on that Sunday against TCU behind you, and you got to turn the page, and you got to go to work. Or as Mitch says, shower it off here in Tempe and leave it in Tempe. And if they'll take that attitude, I want to see what happens over the next 11. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
It'll be Caldwell McFadden getting the start tonight for the Bears. The freshman has not factored into a decision, but a 3.86 ERA. 3 straight solid outings. Really, most outings this year have been solid for him, save for a bad outing against West Virginia. He has been impressive when given the opportunity in limited action. He's been given more responsibility as the year goes on. His counterpart for UT Arlington, Dylan Schofield. Schofield, a right-handed junior, 0-5, an 11 ERA. First pitch is coming up just over 15 minutes from now here on the banks of the Brazos River. Fans are making their way in. If you can't join us, we hope you can, but if not, Tom and I will have the call for you here as these two teams get it going here at 6:35 p.m. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups. We'll hear the thoughts of Bears head coach Mitch Thompson as well. That is all on the way from Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, where the Bears are set to begin game number 44 on the season after this on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
We don't just build trucks.
We build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Toyota Tundra isn't just built in Texas. It's built by Texas. Every line, weld, and seal, shaped with the pride, heat, and strength that only Texas really knows. The Tundra's built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make new ones. Built to roll with the punches and to go the distance. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back at it here tonight, Baylor and UT Arlington. The Bears trying to snap a 6-game losing streak, and in the process of doing so would look to sweep the season series against the Mavericks. This is a long-time series between these two teams. Baylor is 94-35 all-time against the Mavericks, 5-0 under Bears head coach Mitch Thompson. Time now to take a look at these starting lineups when it comes to sports medicine and orthopedics. Baylor, Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics brings the home team advantage to Central Texans. First for Baylor's visitors tonight, the Mavericks of UT Arlington. They're wearing gray uniforms with blue letters and numerals, orange Maverick logo on the side of the jersey. They're 16-25 overall, 5-7 in WAC play, and their lineup looks like this. Harold Liraquente leads it off at shortstop, followed by the right fielder, Preston Knott. Their second leading hitter on the year, Hank Harp, bats third in left field, followed by their top hitter, Xavier Melendez. He had a 2-run home run off of Baylor up in Arlington. Their second baseman's hitting .371 with 5 homers and 35 RBIs. Xander McAfee has slightly better power numbers, 6 homers, 36 runs batted in for the Mavericks. He's followed by a former Bear, redshirt junior Zach Mazak. Transferred from Baylor after playing 2 years here. The lower third of the order, Kalen Digert is at first base batting 7th. The catcher, Clark Springs, bats 8th. Rounding out the lineup is third baseman Austin Phillips. The pitcher, right-handed junior Dylan Schofield. Schofield out a transfer from Washington State. He has a 10.89 ERA, an 0-5 record, 9 strikeouts, 8 walks in 19 innings. For the Bears, 22-21 on the year, 9-12 in Big 12 play. Baylor today is wearing white jerseys with green pinstripes, green letters and numerals, gold trim, and it is Travis Sanders, the shortstop, leading it off. Travis Sanders had a tremendous Friday for the Bears and some big hits on the weekend in Tempe. The shortstop leads it off, followed by Dylan Perez, the true freshman, batting second in left field. Brady Janusek 1 home run away from tying the Baylor freshman home run record set back in 2010 by Max Muncy. Janusek, the right fielder, bats third. He's hitting .322 with 10 homers and 39 runs batted in. Tice Armstrong coming off of a 2-home run day on Sunday. The cleanup hitter is at first base. He's followed by redshirt freshman DH Hunter Snow. The catcher, J.J. Kennett, had a tremendous weekend in Tempe. He bats 6th, followed by Ty Johnson, the center fielder, who hits 7th. Batting 8th and back in the starting lineup tonight is Robert De La Garza. Baylor without the services of regular third baseman Brighton Clements for the time being, as he re-aggravated an injury this weekend in Tempe. So Robert De La Garza is at third base, hitting 8th. Pearson Reebok, the sophomore second baseman, bats 9th. The pitcher is Caldwell McFadden. No decisions. He has a .386 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 6 walks in 14 innings. Starting lineups are brought to you by Baylor, Scott and White, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. From injury prevention to enhanced recovery, team up with us to get back in the game. This is our maybe our warmest night of the year playing baseball. We've had a lot of really nice, we've been blessed this year, Tom, in all honesty, with a lot of 75, 80-degree weather, or 65, 70, really pleasant weather in a lot of conditions. but you can tell summer is coming around the corner tonight. It's 87 degrees at the moment with 70% humidity. The guys are going to feel it out there. Everyone in the stadium feels it tonight, and they're used to this. They play in this, but it is noteworthy that the weather is kicked up a notch here after some really, really nice weather all year long.
Yeah, I think obviously they need to hydrate, and they'll be just fine. But it's a little toasty, and the humidity is outrageous. It says 70%, but
feels like more than that.
It feels like more like 85 or 90% humidity. I mean, It is sticky here in the ballpark tonight. But you know what?
It's all right.
It's absolutely. Let's go. Let's play baseball. We get a chance to watch baseball on a Tuesday night, and it should be a lot of fun as the Bears get ready to take on this UT Arlington squad.
I'd say this, Tom. Only 6 more chances after tonight guaranteed to watch the Bears at home.
Yeah,
that tells you where we are in the season.
Goodness.
Last game in the month of April is tonight.
Yes, and then you got an opportunity to watch them play Texas Tech this weekend and UCF the following weekend, and that, my friends, is it.
You're not joking.
And that is mind-boggling to me that we are this close to knocking on game 54 of the season, which is obviously the final regular season game. And those will be in Utah.
Yeah.
On a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I know. It's the home stretch 100%. Well, to take some strong play into that, you got to start winning, and that's what the Bears are going to try to do tonight. Time now to hear the thoughts of Bears head coach Mitch Thompson. He visited with Tom before the game.
Coach, a brand new week, and it begins with UTA tonight. Go back and talk a little bit about the weekend. It was, quite frankly, a very difficult weekend for your club.
Well, extremely difficult. We didn't play well. Arizona State was really playing well, swinging the bat. Their arms were fantastic. It was not fun, and we need to leave it there and come back home and get back on the horse here. And that's what we encourage the guys to do, and I think that's their focus and what we're going to be attempting to do starting tonight. So we got to move forward. The last week was not a good one for us, and we got to pick ourselves back up and dust ourselves off and get going again.
You've been good in your home ballpark, and you play the next 4 here.
Well, that's right, and we've got 7 of the next 11 here, and to be honest with you, we need to play with some urgency and get this going, and I think our guys will. I'm excited for us to get out here tonight and see if we can get the bats going. If we'll start swinging it a little bit better, then things can come around. We won't feel quite as much pressure on the mound. We've had to make some adjustments with the lineup and different guys, and we just need a few guys to step up a little bit, and they're working at it, so hopefully it'll happen.
You're going to pencil Robert De La Garza in at third base for you.
Yeah, we want to see if we can get a little offense out of that spot, and hopefully Rob can get a couple balls and get them going and can play some defense. Cole Anklos played fantastic defense for us this last weekend, and really a tough assignment. To be thrown out there to the Wolves in their first college games out there. He really handled himself well defensively. But today we may use him on the mound too, so I wanted to get Rob out there, and we'll see what Rob can do.
And you are a little, with injury, we've talked about it, but you are a little thin on the mound as well.
Well, we are. We still got some guys, that were nursing some stuff and aren't ready to get back in there yet. Hopefully in another week or so we can get another part to us back. And I really don't want to go into that, but hopefully it'll happen. And we just got to play better than what we have been, and hopefully tonight we can get out there and get off to a good start and feel good about ourselves.
What are your plans on the mound, pitching wise, for tonight as you look ahead to the weekend with Tech?
Yeah, we're going to go with Caldwell for a couple. Hopefully a couple, 2, maybe 3, depending upon what he can get us. Hopefully he can get us through that clean, and then we'll start piecing it together one inning at a time with the rest of our guys in our bullpen. We've got a fresh. Virtually everybody in our bullpen is available. So we've got plenty of guys to go through this and to do this right, and hopefully that we can all get out there and throw the ball well, locate, and get after the UTA.
When you minimize the number of pitches you let a guy throw on Tuesday night, do you treat that like a bullpen for that particular pitcher?
Well, it's work is what it is, and you just want to keep it under a certain number. 20 would be ideal for an inning. Under 20, you start going over 20 some, and then you're really taxing him a little bit more than you'd like. So hopefully we can get out there and just throw some 15s, 15, 13s, some quick innings and take care of that and just keep the train moving. But we've got a bunch of guys available in that bullpen. We've got some guys that did not throw at ASU, and they're available. So, what we need strikes, located strikes, and get after the zone.
Offensively, I guess you're looking to bunch some hits together tonight.
Well, we've got to get it going. We really had one guy who had a really good weekend, and JJ swung the bat really well. Hit a couple home runs, a double, about had another 3-run double. And Travis had a good game, and Janisek hit a home run, and Tice had a good game, but we just didn't have a very good weekend offensively. So, we got to get back to being us, and that's the thing that we challenged our guys. Hey, man, who are we, and how are we going to finish this thing? And we've got 3 weeks left, and we've got an 11-game season right now that we're playing. And we'll show up tonight with some energy and some excitement, and hopefully get after it and play well.
Is that how you approach it? This is an 11-game season to see where you go and what you do?
Well, that's exactly where we're at. I mean, we're where we are in our conference, so we still have 3 weeks left. 2 of them are here at home. It's all right here in front of us. If we'll go take care of one game at a time, one pitch at a time, one inning at a time, one game at a time, we'll be right where we want to be at the end of the year. And if we don't, we won't. And so that's the whole focus. Show back up, compete, get after it, win one game at a time, and let's move on to the next one.
Your opponent tonight, UTA. What's your thoughts on this club?
Yeah, UTA's got some good arms out of that bullpen. They've got a team that's scrappy and can beat you. They're not playing exceptionally well right now either, so they'll be trying to get off the snide as well. It should be a pretty good fight.
Coach, thanks. Have fun tonight.
Thanks, guys.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the Big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oilfield trailers? We carry a full line of Big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
This is Baylor Baseball. Baylor Baseball. On the Baylor Sports Media Network. Today's game is brought to you by Bubba's 33, Scratch Made, Food for All, Gulf States Toyota, Let's Go Places, Baylor Scott & White, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. Premier ER and Urgent Care. Feel better now.
Tom.
Rudy's Barbecue, the home of real Texas barbecue. Get ready. Get ready. The first pitch is just moments away. Now, let's go back to the booth with Derek Smith.
By top Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark on the banks of the Brazos River, we welcome you to Baylor Baseball once again this evening. The Bears have taken the field in anticipation of tonight's game against UTA. Baylor defeated UT Arlington in Arlington. 5-2 was the score on April the 7th, and they are back at it tonight. Caldwell McFadden heading out onto the mound. He has a 3.86 ERA, 14 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, and 6 walks on the year. And he really did a nice job last week in his first career start at Sam Houston. Tom, I thought in that very disappointing loss, he was a bright spot, and that really came, first batter of the game hits a home run. Second hitter of the game, he plunks. And you think, oh no, this is not a good start. The adrenaline's too much. But you know what he did? He settled in. He didn't let the first two batters dictate what happened over the next 3 innings, and he did not allow a run after that very first batter. And he exited with his team in the lead. And Tom, I think we all know a young guy's going to, no matter who you're playing, he's going to make some mistakes. He's going to give up some hits, maybe a home run or whatever, which he did. We always want to see how are they going to respond. Are they going to let one bad batter become two? And I think that's what has been impressive about him so far. He's looked up to the moment when he's been given opportunities, and when he has struggled, he's tended to work through it.
Yeah, and here's the thing for him. He left that game the other night with his team having an opportunity to win. And I think from Mitch Thompson and Sean Snedeker's point of view with a young guy like that, that is all that they can ask of him that night, and that's really all they can ask of him tonight as he goes 2, maybe 3 innings again tonight.
You know, and again, you look at his numbers on the year, Tom. 2/3 of a scoreless inning at Arizona State. The start at Sam Houston. He was he helped the Bears get the win against UTSA. He was really good in that game. Gave up a run in 2 innings against Tarleton, a scoreless inning against Oklahoma State. Point being, I think when you look at the freshmen who have seen limited opportunities, he's been one who's taken advantage of every one of them. And that's a good thing for this team.
He'll continue to get them as long as he does. I mean, they're searching, Derek, still at this point in the season. They still need a couple of arms to help out, particularly on the weekend. And if you'll be effective on Tuesday night, you're going to get a chance on the weekend.
Harold Laraquente making his way to the plate. The native of Puerto Rico will step into the left-handed batter's box, the switch hitter against the righty Caldwell McFadden. And we'll get this started in the first inning, brought to you by Premier ER and Urgent Care, the official around-the-clock care provider of Baylor Athletics. Not much wind to speak of. A little wind would be welcome tonight, but it is not in the offing. Flag barely moving out in center field.
And it's blowing out, not in.
Here's the first pitch to Laraquente. McFadden just misses with a fastball. Ball 1, and we are underway. Give the umpires and the Baylor defense in just a moment. McFadden right back to it quickly, and his fastball is sliced foul down the left field line and out of play. The count even at a ball and a strike. John Wolf calls balls and strikes tonight. The first base umpire is Andrew Fulton. Chris Meyer at second base. Lance Barnes is at third. There's an off-speed pitch. Outer half in for a strike. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Laraquente. On deck is right fielder Preston Knott. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh, now Laraquente requests time, and he is granted it. Oh, we've got a pitch clock violation from the first base umpire, and that's going to make that's on Caldwell McFadden, so it's going to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the break-even pitch. A breaking ball just misses away, and thanks to the pitch clock violation, he's now a pitch away from walking the leadoff man, Laraquente. In that game up in Arlington, as there's a pitch up high, ball 4. Laraquente draws the walk, and he's aboard to start the ball game. UT Arlington scored in the first inning in that game in Arlington. They got a 2-run home run from Xavier Melendez, but the Bears scored the final 5 runs of that contest. Here is Preston Knott, the right fielder, .254 average, 2 homers and 14 runs batted in. McFadden holds the ball on his back hip as he waits for Preston Knott to step in the box. Left-hander batter against the right-handed pitcher. And here's the first offering. It's a bunt attempt, bunted back, foul. Count is 0-1. They're trying to advance the leadoff runner. In the outfield, Hank Harp in left. Xander McAfee, the center fielder. Preston Knott is in right. On the infield for the Bears. Kalen for the Bears, I beg your pardon. We'll reset that in just a moment. Knott awaits the pitch with the middle infield at double play depth for the Bears. We try to bunt again. He does not show bunt. Instead slices it back foul. Outfield for the Bears, Dylan Perez in left. Ty Johnson in center, and Brady Janiasek is in right. On the infield, Tice Armstrong at first, Pearson Reebok at second, third baseman Robert De La Garza, Travis Sanders is the shortstop, catcher is J.J. Kennett, and the pitcher, Caldwell McFadden, completes the battery and the Baylor defensive unit. Here's the 0-2 pitch, got him to chase up high. That's a strikeout, and there's one away. Nice job nice job to retire. Not there. He was trying to bunt his way on, or at least he was trying to drop the button. give himself up, but he does so anyway without advancing the runner.
Yeah, I guess you call that a failed sacrifice. He only attempted one time, but he did attempt.
Here is Hank Harp, the 348 batter. He takes a strike on the inside corner, a slow off speed there from McFadden. It bit the inside edge, and the count 0-1. Runner at first, one out.
Steady dose of those breaking pitches.
There goes the runner. Here's the pitch. Hit and run is on. That slice down the right field line. Long run for Brady Janusek. He can't get there, and it drops just inside of fair territory. The runner there, Preston Knott, had to wait and see if he would catch the ball in right. Janusek did not. Otherwise, Lara Quinte would have scored from first. Instead, he holds it third on the Hank Harp double.
And that ball was perfectly placed by Harp. I mean, it was so far away from Brady Janusek, who was playing more towards the alley, and that ball right down the fair foul line and drops in for a double. And now UTA with runners at second and third and just one out.
And here is their best all-around hitter, Xavier Melendez, 371 average, 5 homers, 35 RBIs. Caldwell McFadden starts him off with a strike. Fastball in the zone. It is 0-1. Got to say, Brady Janusek's hustle after that ball may have saved a run for the Bears at the moment because the runner, Lara Quinte, had to make sure he wasn't going to get to that. Slowed up at second base. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball bites the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
Boy, he went through the back door there, and he got the call from John Wolf. You're going to get that one right there. Live there. And your point about Brady Janusek, he's a ball player, Derek. I mean, he's just a good ball player.
0-2 to the right-hander, Melendez. The pitch. Breaking ball outside, too far for Melendez to offer, and it's 1-2.
He was thinking along the same lines we were, but he just went a little too far outside, and now he's at 1-2, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him elevate a fastball.
2 on, 1 out. McFadden from the stretch delivers the 1-2 pitch, and that is grounded up the middle. It's going to bring home a run. Reebok's only play is to first for the out, but credit Melendez with an RBI, his 36th of the year, and it puts UT Arlington on the board 1-0 here in the top of the first as Hank Harp moves on to third base.
Well, he threw him a breaking ball, not the fastball, and he just took that ground ball right back up the middle. Reebok was able to make the play, but because of the walk scores, and it's 1-0.
Now you got to make sure that runner at third stays put as Xander McAfee stands in, a good power hitter, waves through a breaking ball. The count 0-1.
A lot of hooks tonight early from McFadden.
McFadden ready with the 0-1. Here it comes, another breaking ball. That one with a little more speed to it. A little more velocity. It catches the outside edge, 0-2.
I'm wondering if he's throwing a curveball and a slider, Derek. I mean,
I think you're right.
It didn't have near the bite, and it had more velocity.
0-2. The pitch to McAfee lays off of a high fastball there. You know, does he have a bit of a sweeper with a little sting to it? You know, we've heard you see more pitchers developing a sweeper, which to me is just slider really with a little more horizontal movement. Here's the 1-2 pitch.
Wow.
Looked like a pretty good breaking ball on the back door, but Xander McAfee given the benefit of the doubt by John Wolf, and it's 2-2.
They giveth and they taketh away, don't they?
That looked like a pitch you'd like on the corner. Runner at third, 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That is swung on and lifted back to left field. Perez settles underneath it at the front edge of the warning track and makes the grab. McAfee gave it a ride but didn't get enough of it. And that's all for UT Arlington here in the first, but they do score a run on a hit with a runner left. At the end of a half inning of play, the score, UT Arlington 1. Baylor coming to bat after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage led by expert industry knowledge and a commitment to community. With kindness and integrity at the forefront, every agent is equipped to help you navigate the market and make the real estate journey your own. Whether buying or selling, feel supported with an award-winning agent at your side from first offer to contract and close. Magnolia Realty serves cities including Waco, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Temple. Learn more at magnoliarealty.com.
Looking for a fun night out with family or friends? Head to Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark and catch Baylor baseball this season. Single game tickets are on sale now, starting at just $6 for general admission seating. Or stop by the ballpark for $2 Tuesdays, featuring discounted concession items, plus $2 off general admission tickets. Grab your seats now at BaylorBears.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Baylor Ballpark.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Trailed by a run as they prepare to bat for the first time in this Tuesday night game. The Mavericks of UT Arlington manufacture a leadoff walk into an early run. 1-0 as the Bears get ready to face the UT Arlington starter Dylan Schofield. Washington State transfer, who's a two-way player, has struggled on the mound this year. He is 0-5 with a 10.89 ERA in 19 innings, 9 strikeouts, and 8 walks. And Tom, you would like to take advantage of those poor numbers. Obviously, despite the fact that he's getting a start here tonight, teams have feasted on him this year, and this Baylor team has struggled at the plate, no question, as of late, but you would love to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you want him out of the game as quickly as possible. I mean, you want to jump on this guy, and this guy obviously cannot be pitching with a ton of confidence. He's 0-5, and as you said, his ERA is about to punch to 11, and he, his walk to strikeout ratio is horrible. I mean, this is a guy you want to go get.
The Bears will send Travis Sanders, Dylan Perez, and Brady Janusek to the plate in the first inning. Should any of them reach, you would see Tice Armstrong. Here is Sanders making his way to the plate. Want to say hello to everyone watching on our Inside the Booth cam tonight. We appreciate you being with us. I know a lot of you stayed up with us late from Tempe on Friday and Saturday last week. We very much appreciate that. It's also good to be back in the Central Time Zone and on that time frame. Here's Sanders standing in. The first pitch from Schofield is swung on and chopped foul just wide of third. And the count is 0-1.
Now, not everybody was able to stay up the entire time, but we appreciate those who did.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. Hey, it was late out there.
It was.
Right?
It was late.
Yeah, very late. Nothing in one. Here's the pitch from Schofield. That is down and out, and the count evens at a ball and a strike.
There's a song in there someplace, isn't it?
Down and out?
Down and out.
Yeah, it sounds like a country song.
Yes, indeed.
Right-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher. Sanders awaits the 1-1, and Schofield cuts it loose. A breaking ball in the zone, and it is 1-2.
Travis having a conversation with John Wolf, kind of curious of where he may be having dinner after the game, or how the kids are doing.
Maybe disagree with that call?
Yeah, slightly.
1-2. Schofield with the kick and the pitch, and that is lined the opposite field in for a base hit. He drops it into right field, and Travis Sanders is aboard to start the ball game. He's been getting off to good starts, and he's aboard to start the bottom of the first for the Bears.
Derek, that's his 60th hit of the year, and he leads the club in safeties.
Well, he leads the Bears in multi-hit games. He was the entirety of the offense just about on Friday night.
Oh, no doubt. He was 3 for 4 in that ball game, if my memory serves me correctly. He was standing at second base with nobody out twice in that ball game and did not score.
Here is Dylan Perez in the left-handed box, middle infield at double play depth, and he bounces one towards the second baseman. It is dropped, so his only play is going to be to first as Melendez recovers and throws on to retire Perez. I don't know that he would have gotten 2 there, but he would have got the lead runner, but because he fumbled it initially, that made the only play to first, and he made the smart play, but Travis Sanders is in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, it wasn't a big Baltimore chop, but it was a big enough chop that he was not going to be able to turn to. And again, we're getting into May, and the infield is starting to firm up.
Sanders aboard at second base with 1 out, and here is Brady Janusek, authoring one of the best freshman seasons in program history as he looks at a breaking ball outside, ball 1. Bears trying to even up the score here in the home first. It is 1-0 UT Arlington. Schofield comes set, is ready to deliver the 1-0 pitch. Brady Janusek, 322 average, 10 homers, 39 RBIs, waits and takes off the plate away. Ball 2. Looked to me like Schofield just missed his spot a bit outside. And Brady, to his credit, did not chase. So he's ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Spins the bat around. Now a turn and a throw back to second base. That's short hops. Xavier Melendez, who did a nice job to pick that up in front of the bag.
I'm glad he short hopped it. That's a little too close for comfort right there.
Outfield alignment for UT Arlington. Hank Harp in left, Sander McAfee in center. The right fielder is Preston Knott. Give you the rest of the defense momentarily. 2-0 the count. Here is the pitch, down and away, and it is 3-0. Infield for UT Arlington. Kalen Digert at first. Xavier Melendez, the second baseman. The shortstop is Harold Laraquente. Third baseman, Austin Phillips. Catcher, Clark Springs. And the pitcher, Dylan Schofield. Travis Sanders at first base with 1 away. 3-0 the count to the waiting batter, Brady Janusek. And the pitch from Schofield misses badly. That's a 4-pitch walk. And there's 2 on with 1 out for Tice Armstrong. This Baylor offense has struggled at times this year and certainly has struggled really in a lot of ways this year. But especially during this 6-game losing streak, that big hit has been elusive. But it doesn't feel like anything a big early hit could be. It doesn't have to be a home run. It could be, a run-scoring double. It could be putting together a back-to-back-to-back hit, something like that. The pitch to Tice Armstrong clips the outside corner. Breaking ball jumps Schofield ahead 0-1.
Well, one of the things I talked with Mitch Thompson about on the warm-up show, just bunching some things together. Have some traffic on the bases.
0-1 to the waiting Tice Armstrong. The pitch, that's lifted back to right field. It sends Preston Knott back to the warning track, and he can't get it. He drops it. That is fair on the warning track. The Bears have 2 base runners on each other's heels. Here comes Travis Sanders. He is out as the runner behind him, Brady Janusek, retreats to third base. Janusek ended up right behind Travis Sanders as they had to wait to see if Preston Knott could catch the ball in right field. He had a play on it, but he dropped it, and the Bears end up with a runner out at home plate.
And when you describe that Janusek and Sanders were, it was like a horse race. They were neck and neck for a moment, and, Sanders is out at the plate, unfortunately, and Brady was wise enough to throw the brakes on it and stop at third base. So now you got second and third, but unfortunately, Derek, you got 2 outs.
You do. Let's see if the Bears can find a way to take advantage here. That does go as a hit to Tice Armstrong. Here is the pitch to Hunter Snow, belted back to center field, I beg your pardon, but right at Melendez, who makes the grab to retire the side. Well, a missed opportunity for the Bears as they get a hit, a walk, 2 hits and a walk in the first inning, but are unable to turn it into a run. At the end of 1 complete, our score, UT Arlington 1, Baylor 0. And you're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you a diehard Bears fan? Sure, your entire closet is Baylor green and gold. All your pets' names have started with Judge, and that good old Baylor line is your ringtone. But do you have an official Baylor University toll tag? That small green and gold sticker reps the Bears and cuts your toll bill in half. Visit getmytolltag.com to purchase your specialty tag and deck your ride with Baylor pride. Small sticker, big savings, sick 'em Bears.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. I can make a sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows that's how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven, everybody knows. That's how I get my grill on. Kanaka sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
1-0 UT Arlington as the Mavericks bat in the top of the second inning. The Bears miss an opportunity to even it up in the first as Travis Sanders is cut down at home plate after a double by Tice Armstrong. Good to see Mike Taylor making his way out to third base, the third base coach for the Mavericks, who was a coach here at Baylor from 2016 to 2022. Wife Amy, they all still live here in the Waco area, and a great guy. Good to see him back here. And we'll root for him when they're not playing us. Here is Zach Mazak leading it off in the top of the second inning, the former Bear. .216 average, a home run, 15 RBIs. He swings at the first pitch and bounces it behind the bag at first, where Tice Armstrong takes it and flips to a covering Caldwell McFadden for a one-pitch out. Good way to start the top of the second inning. You know, you'd love to see if you could maybe, you know, after going 3 innings last week, maybe you could get 4 from Caldwell McFadden today. You know, don't know what coach's plans are, but you would love for McFadden to pitch his way into potentially staying in the game, whether they keep him in or not.
Well, no, you're right. And
Digert goes bunt, takes ball 1.
And I don't think that's the plan. I think 2, maybe 3 innings is the plan for Caldwell tonight.
1-0. He rocks and fires and misses down and away. 21 pitches, make that 22 now, 14 of them for strikes. You'd love for him to pitch well enough that they're like, hey, well, should we? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
2-0. Here is the pitch. That's ripped into left field. It's down for a base hit. Dylan Perez plays it on the hop out there, and Digert has a 1-out single. Wind blowing out just a bit now to left center field. Lights are on to it. It looks like there's no rain in the forecast, but when you look across the Brazos River, it looks like rain.
And there is rain in the Metroplex, but not here.
Well, hopefully the latter portion stays that way. Clark Springs, the 280 hitting catcher, swings at the first pitch and flies it out to center field. Ty Johnson walks to the spot to meet it and makes the grab for a second out. That's 2 one-pitch outs here in the inning. Batter is Austin Phillips.
I think, Derek, and I don't want to read too much into it, but I think if McFadden gives you a quality 2 or 3 innings, that he's going to factor into some place on the weekend.
I would agree. I think you were looking for guys who, you know, are faithful with little, and maybe you can entrust them with much, right? Now, maybe much just means an inning or 2 on the weekend, but I would like to see what McFadden could do in maybe a little bit of a leverage situation. Not tie game in the 8th inning, but, you know, nurse a lead, foul ball back our way, Tom. Well, with an inning here, we won't get a foul ball in the booth like we did in Phoenix, but it was headed back towards the home radio booth.
And now Austin Phillips is at an 0-2 count because he took too long getting in the batter's box.
So just like that, the 2-out batter in danger of striking out. McFadden misses away, and the count is 1-2. 244 hitter Austin Phillips with a runner at first and 2 down. McFadden from the stretch. Here's the 1-2 pitch that is popped along the left field line. In foul ground, Robert De La Garza makes the grab, and that's all for UT Arlington here in the top of the second inning. They get a hit, and Strand Digert at first base. Middle of 2, our score, UT Arlington 1, Baylor nothing. And you're listening to Baylor Baseball, the Baylor Sports Media Network.
At Baylor Scott & White McLean Children's, you'll find the care your child deserves and trusted expertise to set your mind at ease. With a network of convenient pediatric primary and specialty care clinics and an advanced medical center, they offer a full range of pediatric care close to home. Learn more at bswhealth.com/McLean-Children's. That's bswhealth.com/McLean-Children's.
Are you tired of slow internet? Are data caps and throttling making it impossible to stream your favorite shows and movies? If so, it sounds like it's time to switch to NextLink Internet. With NextLink, there are no data caps and no throttling, just super fast internet speeds, up to 1 gig over wireless in some areas. Plus, NextLink is an official partner of Baylor Athletics. So don't wait another minute. Give NextLink a call or go online to nextlinkinternet.com to see what special offers are available to you. Blazing fast internet is just a click or phone call away. Sick 'em, Bears.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hey, Baylor fans, this baseball season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for baseball watching. Pepsi, that's what I like. Proud partner of Baylor Athletics. 1-0, the visitors from Arlington lead as we enter the home second inning. The Bears will send the hot-hitting J.J. Kinnett to the plate along with Ty Johnson and Robert De La Garza. J.J. Kinnett comes in on a 5-game hitting streak, and what you need are some of his teammates in the lower portion of the order to join in with him on that. He was a menace out in Phoenix this week, a pair of home runs. He had hits and RBIs in all 3 games, 4 for 11 on the weekend there, and 2 of those 4 hits were homers. He was robbed of a hit that might have won the game for the Bears on Saturday.
Oh, my. We had that little race and in between innings, and we're having to wait for them to exit the ballpark.
Oh. Well, not the fastest contestants we've ever had, is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah, the skies have clouded up here just north of the Brazos River. At least, we're just south of the Brazos River, but the skies just north have clouded up.
I did check the forecast, and the chance of rain is at 7%.
Okay, well, that's good. Here's J.J. Kinnett leading off the inning. Checks his swing on a pitch up in the zone, and he laid off of it. And it's 1-0. 284 batting average for J.J. 2 homers, 14 runs batted in. Well, those homers were shots, too. He did not get cheated in any way. Here's the 1-0 pitch, roped into left field, down for a base hit. Harp over to cut it off, and that's a 6th straight game with a hit for J.J. Kinnett.
How about that? You know, we were having a conversation about J.J. earlier.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just on a tear. Even his outs in Phoenix were hard and very effective, and just like the way he's playing the game right now.
And you know, I'll say that, you know, I feel like sometimes when a guy, gets robbed of a hit, or when a guy almost gets a hit, here's Ty Johnson trying to bunt him over, but the bunt rolls foul up the first baseline. The count 0-1. I don't know, it can sound kind of lame, like, oh, he almost. But J.J. Kinnett on Saturday with the bases loaded and 2 outs in a 2-run ball game smoked a ball 102 miles off the bat, 392 feet. About into the part of the park that's either off the wall or a home run, and just wasn't to be. He hit it so well that he hit it right back to the deepest part of the park, and sometimes that's the way it goes. 0-1. Let's see what Ty Johnson does here after trying to bunt J.J. Kinnett over. Here is the pitch. He does not show bunt and takes a ball just out of the zone. It is 1-1. But I mean, there is absolutely nothing you would change about the job J.J. did there in that at-bat in the top of the 8th inning Saturday against Arizona State. He just hit it to the wrong part of the park in that case. 1-1. Here is the pitch. In for his strike at the knees. Breaking ball, and it is 1-2 to Ty Johnson.
We've said it all season long. This is a guy that we know can hit. He just hasn't. He has the skill set. We've seen it. He's just been scuffling.
No time like the present. Here is the pitch. Tagged a long way down the left field line. It's going to drift foul, though. That is all the way out of here. That is over the wall, but about, 15, 20 feet to the left of the foul pole.
Yeah, at least. And that may have landed in the bullpen, actually, Derek. I mean, that ball was left. But, again, we know what his skill set is. We've seen it. And that's, I think, it's frustrating for him. It's frustrating for the staff because they know what he's about. That's why his name keeps getting penciled in the lineup.
209 average, 15 RBIs for Ty Joe as he awaits the 1-2 pitch. Swings and tags it foul again down the left field line and out of play.
Late on that fastball, and let's see if he can get it timed up. May get another breaking ball here. He took a curveball a moment ago for a strike to fall behind in the count at 1-2.
Runner at first, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning, Bears down 1-0. Schofield with the pitch. That's popped into center field. Xander McAfee running in, loses his hat, but makes the catch, and J.J. Kinnett is forced to retreat to first base following the first out.
It may be a Magnolia Field situation where you lose your hat.
That's true. Maybe that's just it, because it does keep happening to players. Here is Robert De La Garza, middle infield double play depth for UT Arlington. With a runner at first and one away, De La Garza, 227 hitter. The pitch from Schofield, a very tentative swing and miss at a breaking ball away, and it's 0-1.
Bears looking to find some offense out of that third base position. That's why Robert's getting an opportunity.
You need it. The Bears need to put the ball in play. They've done so far tonight. Here's the pitch down low, and it is 1-1. You know, and on the weekend, Baylor hitters struck out 44 times in those 3 games at Tempe, and that's hard to overcome, and Bears did not overcome it. Runner first, one out, 1-1 the count to De La Garza. Schofield cuts it loose, and that's grounded out to shortstop. Played on the backhand. The only play is going to be to first, and the one-hop throw is in time to beat De La Garza to the bag as Kennett advances to second base. The shortstop, Lara Quinte, that pulled him deep into the 6 hole. He did a nice play on the backhand, realized he didn't have a chance to get the lead runner Kennett at second, so made the play on to first. Bears have the tying run in scoring position, though, as Pearson Reebok stands in, and 191 batter really looking to get it going at the plate. He showed signs. In Cincinnati, he had a tremendous weekend, but he's not been able to replicate that. The pitch. That one misses. Fastball jumps Reebok ahead, 1-0. Batting average at 191. This is a guy who was over 300, 306 to be precise last year. A home run, 9 runs batted in. The pitch from Schofield. Fastball away, and it's 2-0.
Not picking on anybody, Derek, but it's hard to generate offense when your bottom third is 209, 227, and 191.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
Yeah, too many spots in the lineup with too many strikeouts or too low a batting average this year. Here's the 2-0. That's a strike inside corner, 2-1.
It's a good 2-0 take, though, right there. That's a nice job by Pearson.
Well, as you often talk about there, as you get in a favorable count, you're looking for one pitch.
Yeah, one pitch, one spot.
And you can tip your cap to Schofield if he hits a pitcher's spot. The 2-1 pitch sliced foul, third base side over the seats. And the count evens at 2-2.
And that's a pitch that Pearson, when he's going well, normally handles. That's an elevated 87-mile-per-hour fastball, and normally, Pearson's all over that.
J.J. Kennett at second base, 2 away. Here is the pitch. Fouled back. He just got a piece of it, and we will do it again.
I forgot it is $2 Tuesday, isn't it?
It is.
There's food all over this ballpark.
You gonna grab yourself a $2 hot dog?
I might. You never know.
I would support it.
Chili dog.
$2 12-ounce drink, which is a great deal.
Yes, it is.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Oh, sick of Bears. Fastball on the inside corner is called ball 3. Full count. Well, a reprieve there for Pearson Reebok. Let's see if he can take advantage.
Make them pay.
Payoff on the way, and that one misses down. Ball 4. Reebok draws the 2-out walk. So now they're at first and second with 2 away, and it's back to the top of the order for Travis Sanders, who hit an opposite field single his first time up.
You can just watch Travis, the way he's carrying himself right now. He knows. He'd be shocked if he doesn't get a hit. I mean, that's his approach right now. I mean, he really does have that approach right now. He's at 60 hits on the season and just really going well.
Well, and he's a guy you really want to have up in this situation.
Sure.
2 on, 2 out. Here is the pitch. A breaking ball bounces up there, and it's 1-0. I know it's going to seem obvious since he's Baylor's leading hitter on the year to say he's the one you feel is just most likely to get a hit in this situation. But it's because clutch situations, non-clutch, it just seems like his approach stays the same. He just has a lot of confidence, and that rubs off on everyone around him. 1-0. Here's the Schofield pitch, down and away, and it is 2-0. And Schofield having some trouble finding the zone here, and we're going to have a mound visit.
Now, here's the situation. Look, first base is not open, but third base is. You could walk Travis, who's hitting over 350 at 357 to get to Dylan Perez, who's hitting 180, 181, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Maybe nibble just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk. What's the reward? The reward is that you get a guy hitting 180. What's the risk? You walk him and you give up a run.
Mound visit adjourns, and catcher Clark Springs, who had joined, heads back behind the plate.
This is a guy that leads the club in multiple hit games, multi-hit contests. He's got 17 of them, and he's already got a hit tonight, so he's looking for his 18th multi-hit game in 44 contests.
Well, how about right now? Favorable count, 2-0. Here is the pitch. Got to give in. 3-0 in the pitch. Misses. Fastball just misses. Ball 4. Travis Sanders draws a walk. The second straight walk allowed by Schofield, and now they will face Dylan Perez with the bases loaded and 2 away. Bears missed an opportunity to score in the first. Can they take advantage of an opportunity here in the second? Dylan Perez, 180 on the year. 273, though, with runners in scoring position. Limited opportunities, but he's a guy who's come on strong as the year's gone on, and he grounds the first pitch he sees into center field, a base hit. Kennett scores. Here comes Reebok. He scores. Dylan Perez comes through and gives the Bears a 2-1 lead.
It's great to see the Bears seize an opportunity. And again, Derek, if they were going off of what I thought they were going off of, it didn't work out for them. It didn't pay off.
Yeah.
And again, and that's going to be all. They got Murphy warming up down in the bullpen. Landon Murphy is warming up. That's going to be all for Schofield, and he is quickly going to be out of the ball game.
RBIs number 6 and 7 on the year for Dylan Perez as Schofield's night is done. Sanders moved on to third on that Perez single, and nothing fancy there, Tom. He kind of felt like he was going to get a strike.
Hit it in the V, didn't he?
Yep, he did. He just put a good swing on it right up the middle, and he gives the Bears a 2-1 lead. New pitcher makes his way to the mound. It is Landon Murphy, for the Mavericks, the freshman right-hander. Give you the numbers on Murphy. No decisions in 16 appearances out of the pen, the third most on the team, No decisions, a 5.93 ERA. Opposing batters are hitting .319 against him, so a good opposing batting average. He has struck out 19 and walked just 5 in just over 27 innings, and he comes on to face Brady Janusek.
Yeah, you got 2 outs. I understand that, but you've got the correct guys at the plate to really turn this into a crooked number here in the second inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, you feel like this team needs that.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
Team needs that. Mired in a 6-game losing streak.
Well, how big was the Dylan Perez hit? I mean, you think guys are in that dugout exhaling now? You know, hey,
yeah.
we got a clutch hit with 2 outs with traffic on the bases. Didn't see that whole lot this weekend. May not have saw it at all, really, but they were able to get it done here tonight, and that's huge. I mean, it's just huge for the psyche of this baseball team.
And their situations in Tepe this weekend, what Dylan Perez just did might have changed the game. Probably Saturday, but
sure.
You know, Baylor did not. Baylor got dominated on Friday and Saturday. Is in a warm-up situation here. Murphy balks. He started his throw and then just stopped and spun off the mound. Now he throws back in. It was just noteworthy because it was odd as he's working on his warm-up tosses. By the way, Tom, Brady Janusek, as we've mentioned a couple times, he is 1 home run away from tying Max Muncy for the freshman home run record for this program. Max Muncy hit 11 of them back in 2010. I mean, that's some great company. I think you're getting to the point where you can split hairs on whether or not Jason Jennings' freshman year was better, or Dave Murphy's, or Shea Langolier's, but what you can't argue is that at this juncture in the season, we're seeing one of the best freshman seasons authored by a Baylor hitter in program history. The program's been around a long time.
And he's fun to watch. I mean, you know, you can talk about all that stuff all you want. He's fun to watch.
Landon Murphy completes his warm-up tosses, and now Brady Janusek makes his way to the plate. Max Calderon tells us that is the second multiple RBI game of Dylan Perez's young Baylor career. They're on the corners with 2 away. Sanders at third and Perez at first base. Brady Janusek walked his first time up. Now batting against Murphy for the first time. Murphy from the stretch cuts it loose. He buzzes the tower. A pitch tight on the hands, and it's 1-0. Baylor has never lost to UT Arlington under head coach Mitch Thompson. 5-0 in his 5 years at the helm. It'll be a 1-0 pitch. It's on the way. Tardy on the fastball. Janusek swings through it, and it's 1-1.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. They better be glad they got a roof up in the Metroplex for baseball. It is stormy.
Yeah.
That
that radar looked intense up there.
Indeed it did.
First and third, 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch sprayed foul by Janusek. Hits the underside of the roof. Look out. Oh, I think that hit a fan down there. Seems to be all right. It didn't catch him on the head, but they're being checked on by one of our ushers here just to make sure they're all right. I think everyone is all right.
You got to be loose.
You do. Well, that's one of those that's tough. It hit the underside of the roof up at the top of the stands and bounced all the way back to the lower bowl. Breaking ball down and inside to Janusek, and it's 2-2.
That ball was hanging a little bit. If it's out over the plate where Janny can extend his arms, good gracious. We know how hard he hits the baseball.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, 2 runs in here in the bottom of the second inning. Murphy's pitch is over the outside corner, strike 3 call. Froze him with a fastball to retire the side. First strikeout of the game for the Bears. But the Bears take the lead for the first time. They score 2 runs on 2 hits and leave a pair. Tom will have the play-by-play when we come back. It's now 2-1 Baylor as we head to the third on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor fans, ready to keep it cool this season? Ice and Easy delivers premium ice lightning fast. From tailgates to restaurants, construction sites, concerts, and races, Ice and Easy has you covered. Game day or work day, keep your drinks cold and your spirits bold. Ice and Easy, we deliver, you chill. Proud supporter of the Baylor Bears.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for the cook you gotta feed, smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. And a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting that'll pass the hours. It'll feed all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, McFadden pitches with the lead for the first time tonight after UTA scored a first-inning run. The Bears got a pair in the second inning, so it's 2-1 Baylor as McFadden gets ready to face the top of the UT Arlington order. Here to tell you all about it is Tom.
All right, thanks so much, Derek. Laura Quinte, not and Harp to lead it off. Laura Quinte walked and scored the only run for UTA tonight. Laura Quinte is out of Puerto Rico.
You ever been there, Tom?
I have not. Not to Puerto Rico.
You like the cruises. I know you've been all over the Caribbean.
I love the Caribbean. I do. Laura Quinte hitting .286, couple of home runs, 20 driven in. First pitch is down low from Caldwell McFadden. Don't you love that name?
That
Caldwell McFadden.
Sounds like a law firm.
Absolutely. 1-0. Misses for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Bears and Texas Tech coming up on Friday night, Saturday afternoon at 2, and Sunday afternoon at 1.
Big series.
Oh, huge. The 2-0 swung on and lined into right field. There's a base hit for Laura Quinte.
Second time the leadoff man has been aboard. The first time they scored, so let's see if McFadden can settle in and strand him there.
Here's Preston Knott. Knott starts the night with a 7-game hitting streak. He struck out back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
That was honestly a problem for the Bears on Sunday. Obviously a good Arizona State offense, but Baylor helped them out by too many innings letting that leadoff man reach.
Yeah, look, you're in trouble when that happens. I mean, you can do the math. Everybody knows the percentages of scoring when you get the leadoff man aboard with nobody out. There's a breaking ball that misses. Well, that makes sense. Get the lead.
Yeah.
with no outs, get the leadoff man on. But the pitch to Knott is high for a ball, and it's 1-0. Tice Armstrong holding it first, middle infield. That's Reebok and Sanders at double play down. To the stretch. Now throw over to first base. Tag's applied, and back in under the tag is Larquente. Now they don't run a lot, but there's a couple of guys that do, and this is one of them. Larquente's got 9 stolen bags. He's been caught 3 times. You got a left-handed stick up there, and Preston Knott, the right fielder. The count's a ball and no strikes. And the 1-0 pitch outside for a ball, and again McFadden falling behind at 2 balls and no strikes. You cannot make a living doing that. Outfield is straight away on a hazy Tuesday night here in the heart of Texas. 2-0 the count. Bears leading 2-1. They've out-hit UTA 4-3, and the pitch is high and away, ball 3, and he's a pitch away from putting the first 2 on.
I mean, state the obvious. You want to shut down inning after you've scored and maintain the momentum, but it gets harder if you let the first 2 men on, to state something obvious.
2 balls and 1 strike. Caldwell working from the first base side of the pitch. Rubber delivers the 3-0 pitch, and it's way high, ball 4. And that's a walk to Preston Knott, and the first 2 have reached. And this may draw a conversation, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on things down there. Earlier saw Charlie Atkinson jogging down to the bullpen. Looks like a right-hander down there.
There is activity. And here comes Hank Harp, who doubled and drove in a run, or who doubled his first time up, rather. And here's a spin and a throw back to second base. Sanders covering. Larquente walks back to the second base bag. Time is called, and here goes J.J. out to talk.
Maybe time to calm down his young pitcher, maybe trying to stall a bit, or a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think all of the above. Derek, you're correct.
You know, McFadden has, I think we've seen him in these opportunities do a nice job of generally not letting one bad at-bat become 2. And that doesn't always mean you get 2 batters out in a row, but I'm intrigued to see if he can settle in and get them out of this jam or minimize.
Here comes his opportunity.
Got a little 6-4-3.
I'll take it. Harp from the right side, hitting .358 on the year. To the stretch, McFadden, after the conference on the mound is concluded, and deals the pitch. It is bunted up the third baseline foul. He bunted a ball out of the zone and basically hooked that bunt into foul territory. And they tell you if you're going to bunt, you got to bunt strikes.
And that was not. Bears will take that gladly.
Absolutely. So now Harp looking into the first base dugout to get instructions. 0-1 the count. Runner at second is Larquente. Runner at first is Knott. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He shows bunt again, bunts it up the third base line, and again it trickles into foul territory. And now the count moves to 0-2.
Both times his bat head has been pointed almost at the mound by the time he makes contact. Not really a recipe for success.
No, now he's angry with himself right now. Do they leave it on or do they take it off? You know what the risk is. 0-2 the count to Harp. Melendez is on deck. We're in the top of the third. The Bears leading 2-1. But UTA with 2 on and nobody out. And here's the pitch. It's a breaker that's way outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time is called, and Mitch Thompson's out of the dugout. He's going to make in the middle of the AB with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. That is going to be all for Caldwell McFadden. Well, his pitch count, Derek, is all the way up to 37. You can't let him go a whole lot further if he is going to be available for you this weekend.
Yeah.
So that is going to be all for Caldwell McFadden. And it does look like Charlie Atkinson is jogging in from the Baylor bullpen as Caldwell McFadden will exit the ball game. Going a couple of innings here.
Well, good chance for Charlie Atkinson. See if he can strand some inherited runners. If he does, looks like a pretty solid outing for Caldwell McFadden. But then also that's big for Atkinson, who, quite honestly, Tom, struggled his last time out. It was not a good outing on Friday night against Arizona State. The Bears brought him in there really kind of hoping to keep the game somewhat close, but in that game he allowed 5 runs in 1 2/3 innings. He walked a hitter. He allowed 6 hits. He just struggled to get outs, plain and simple.
Well, and again, he's inherited. This is not his forte. He's inherited 9 base runners, and 5 of the 9 have scored. So he's at about 50%. But this is one of your guys. I mean, make no mistake about it. This is one of your dudes, and Charlie's got to figure this thing out and get it done for us.
Well, Atkinson has been a guy you've pretty much relied on this season. His numbers, Tom, are not bad on the year despite that tough outing on Friday. Now, that did elevate his ERA. 19 appearances for Atkinson, a 4.71 ERA. He has 21 strikeouts and 14 walks in just under 29 innings, and opposing batters have hit .287 against the Houston area native who came to Baylor by way of DBU.
So you got an all ex or former DBU battery right now. Now, Charlie will inherit a 1-ball, 2-strike count, so go ahead and get the punch out right here, and then the next guy can get you the 6-4-3, and then you don't worry about it.
I like that plan. Did you relay that to the coaches?
I passed that along in our pregame meeting.
Good.
Yeah. If you get the 6-4-3, it's your 41st of the year. I mean, this club has played defense.
And honestly, I haven't seen as much of that lately. The Bears did get a strike him out, throw him out, and a 5-4-3 in Tempe.
Atkinson just about ready to go to work. Tall right-hander completing his warm-up tosses. And again, when we resume play, Larquente's at second base. Preston Knott is at first. Larquente single to right. Knott walked. Harp was at the plate with a 1-ball and 2-strike count when Mitch Thompson made the decision to go get the tall right-hander Charlie Atkinson. So Atkinson will inherit the 1-ball, 2-strike count on Harp with Melendez on deck. We're in the top of the third, and the Bears leading 2-1. As we resume play, Atkinson is ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He bounces in for a ball, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Almost looked like a split finger a little bit away, but he was too far away for Harp to chase.
Squeezed it a little bit too much, and short hopped J.J. Kennett. Now the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, a check. And the 2-2 pitch is a breaking ball that stays high, and it's 3-2. Well, no, that actually was the fastball. I beg your pardon. And it stayed high, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
A little less velocity on the fastball than we sometimes see from Charlie.
3-2 the count. Atkinson working quickly. Looks back to Larquente at second, deals the 3-2 pitch. It's high ball 4, and they're loaded.
That's tough. You bring him in, and he has trouble finding the zone despite coming in with 2 strikes on the hitter.
A 1-ball, 2-strike count is what he inherited, and then he walks him. So a single and 2 walks have put the Bears in a pickle. Here's Melendez, who grounded out his first time up.
Facing a really good hitter here in Melendez. He homered against the Bears in Arlington. But you got to attack him with your best stuff.
Started the night hitting .371. He grounded out, so he's averaged at .368 with 5 home runs and 35 driven in. Here's the pitch. It's a ground ball to the shortstop Sanders. Could be 2. A flip to second for 1. The relay throw to first. Not in time. It's a fielder's choice. RBI is coming home to score as Larquente. And it's a 2-2 ball game.
Well, he put the ball in play, and you knew it, but just about anything in play beyond the mound was going to bring home a run, and it did there. Unfortunately, the Bears couldn't quite turn 2, which I think you would have traded right now for a run.
Absolutely, and the run does score, so it's the second RBI of the night for Melendez to tie the game at 2 apiece. Preston Knott ends up at third. Harp is eliminated on the bases, 6-4 in the fielder's choice for the first out. First pitch on the way to McAfee's in there for a strike, and it's 0-1.
Big batter here with a runner at third, Tom. Runners on the corners and less than 2 outs.
So you had the lead, and you give the lead up. It's a tie ball game now at 2 apiece. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball low, and that evens the count at 1-1. Mazak is on deck, the designated hitter. We're in the top of the third, and the game tied at 2 apiece. Baylor's out hit UTA 4-3. Atkinson to the stretch. And he's going to throw to first. Back in plenty of time is Melendez. Melendez, now the team leader in RBIs with 37. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Way outside for a ball, and it's 2-1 to McAfee.
Boy, 7 pitches, just 2 strikes so far for Atkinson.
Yeah, he's frustrated. You can tell he's walking around behind behind the mound, I beg your pardon. And he struggled in Phoenix, and not a great start so far. Here's the 2-1. It is popped up behind home plate, may have a play. J.J. Kennett throws the mask and will make the catch. Tagging and going down to second base is Melendez. How about that headsy baseball play?
That was a heads-up play, but nice job by J.J. Kennedy. You have a lot of faith in his ability to make that play, and he did everything textbook to get a big second out.
Second out of the inning is the pop-up to McAfee. Now here's Zach Mazak, the designated hitter. Mazak hitting .214 on the year with 15 driven in. Grounded out his first time up. Charlie with a chance right here to limit the damage. The pitch bounces in, blocked beautifully by J.J. Kennett.
Big play, saved a run.
J.J. wants new baseball. 1 ball and no strikes to Mazak. 6 extra base hits on the year for Mazak. He's got 5 doubles and 1 home run. 1 ball and no strikes to Mazak. Runners at second and third. Here's the pitch. It is fouled off right side. That squares the count at 1-1. Derek, if you limit the damage to the 1 run, salute to Charlie Atkinson. That's a win.
Yeah, he came in struggling to find the zone, but he seems to have settled in a bit. Now you just got to put it where you want it. 1
ball, 1 strike to Mazak, and here's the 1-1 pitch. It is swung on, and he throws the bat, and the bat hits the net above the UTA dugout. There's strike 2.
I tell you, Mazak is laughing. He's getting some abuse, some friendly abuse from the Baylor dugout. A number of these guys who played with him as teammates here at Baylor a couple of years ago.
My goodness. His own teammates were scattering.
Yeah.
That bat was flying. Knott's at third. Melendez is at second as Mazak asks for time, and it's granted. He goes and gets a little stick-em or something.
Yeah, Mazak, Tom, played 2 seasons at Baylor, 2023 and 2024. So there's a few guys who were his teammates here at Baylor, and I think he's getting some friendly abuse. Caleb Bergman would have played with him.
So here we go, back in the box at a ball and 2 strikes. Atkinson deals the 1-2, and it's hit in the air out into center field. On his horse is Ty Johnson, and he makes a running catch in the right center field alley to retire the Mavericks in the top of the third. They get a run. They do it on a hit. There were a couple of men left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. Our new score, it's Baylor 2. It's the Mavericks 2, and this is Bears Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
We don't just build trucks. We build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Toyota Tundra isn't just built in Texas. It's built by Texas. Every line, weld, and seal, shaped with the pride, heat, and strength that only Texas really knows. The Tundra's built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make moves. Built to roll with the punches and to go the distance. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Well, the red-hot Kansas Jayhawks continue to play good baseball. They're leading Wichita State 8-1. That game is in the top of the 4th inning. Kansas State is on top of Nebraska at Haymarket Park in Lincoln, 5-4. That game has reached the top of the 5th. In Tulsa, it is Oral Roberts leading Oklahoma State 3-0. That game also in the top of the 5th. There's one final in the Big 12, and that's Stephen F. Austin knocking off Houston 5-2. And later tonight, you got Arizona taking on Grand Canyon. The Oklahoma Tech game in Frisco was postponed because of weather. Here's Tice Armstrong. He doubled his first time up, raising the average to 311. Here's the pitch, swung on and foul back. There's strike one. Armstrong with his 9th double of the year. Back of the first, he was stranded at second base. Baylor left a pair on in the first, did not score. 0-1 the count. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and driven deep to left center field. Back goes McAfee, back goes the left fielder. Harp looking up, it's gone! Home run, Tice Armstrong, his 17th of the season.
Well, he gets one against his former team, Tom. You like to see that. More importantly, the Bears reclaim the lead. No doubter out there by the video board. His 17th of the year.
What's the score record?
21. Charlie Carter.
Yep. Okay, let's have the debate. You ready?
Yes.
What's more impressive? Tice breaking Charlie's record or Brady breaking Max's record?
I would go. I have an answer, but let's.
Here's Hunter Snow. He takes a pitch high for a ball, and it's 1-0.
I would say Tice if he breaks Topolsky's record. I mean, breaks Charlie Carter's record.
Yeah.
Because that's just. I mean, only one player in program history has eclipsed 20 home runs in a season.
1-0. There's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Snow.
Now, it's a debate I would like us very much to have at the end of the year.
I think so. I honestly think it may happen. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count, and the 1-1 pitch is down low for a ball. It's 2-1. I heard a fan respectfully disagree with the call,
that's funny.
with the call of the umpire.
That's good.
That's nice.
Hey, that's a way to say it.
Yes, indeed. 2-1 the count. Murphy's ready. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-1.
Tom, that 17th home run now ties him for 6th all-time in a single season with Jason Jennings, Eric Nelson, John Topolsky, and Shaver Hansen, all of whom hit 17 home runs in a single season.
3-1. Misses inside. Snow draws a walk. And the Bears have a base run.
Good start to the inning against Murphy. Tom, next in his sights, Jason Jennings and Chris Durbin, each of whom hit 18 in a season.
You're in some company now. And that is some serious company.
Well, you know, sometimes you'll see some records where you're like, you see a name in there and you're like, huh? You know, someone must have just gone. But the Baylor top 10 single-season home run record is just chock full of some of the best.
First pitch on the way to J.J. Kennett is outside for a ball. J.J. singled and scored his last time up and his first time up to extend a hitting streak to 6 games. Armstrong a limited lead away from first. Digert is holding. To the stretch, Murphy. Here's the pitch. It's high for a ball. It's 2-0. Nobody throwing in UTA's bullpen, but they're headed there now.
They are, and we've got a mound visit. Tom, let's give a tip of the cap to Josh Ludy's 2012 season. No longer a top 10 home run season in program history.
Wow.
Big 12 player of the year, though. As we get the mound visit. But you do think about, like, Tom, you and I have had the privilege of seeing some really great power hitters here, whether in recent years it be guys like Shea Langoliers, Davis Wenzel, you know, whether you go back a little further to some of the guys that you have the privilege of calling, like Josh Ford, certainly Max Muncy. I mean, you called a lot of those names. Chris Durbin. I mean, the fact that Tice Armstrong is up there, I mean, it's rarefied air. The last time anyone hit 17 home runs in a season was 2009. Just the second time since 1999.
Wow. Now, this is not a home run hitting team, but there's some guys that hit home runs. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, to your point, that's now 27 home runs between the duo.
2 balls and no strikes as we resume play.
27 of Baylor's 38.
Wow. That's impressive. The pitch is on the way to JJ, and it's in there for a strike at 87 miles an hour. And it's now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Hey, you know, but they didn't hit a ball into a palm tree or into the battery's eye like this guy did.
He sure did. I mean, he killed that ball. He absolutely destroyed it. 2-1 the count to J.J. Murphy's ready. He's going to throw over to first. Low throw, dug out by Dygert over there, and back in plenty of time is Hunter Snow. And now Murphy wants a new baseball. I don't know if we ever got around to giving the line on Schofield, but it was an inning and 2/3, 2 runs that were earned on 4 hits. He walked 3. He did not strike out a batter.
Try it again.
Just 19 strikes and 34 pitches. Murphy's ready. And the 2-1 pitch. Up and in for a ball. There goes Hunter Snow. The throw down. Hits Snow. And he's safe. And his helmet goes flying off.
He's all right. That a lot came together there, and I think he feels it a little bit. But
he steals the bag. That's his 3rd of the year in 5 tries. But again, the helmet goes flying off as the throw from the catcher Springs hits him. We're getting a replay here in our booth. We got a monitor. Where did that?
Did that catch him on the upper forearm? On the forearm?
I don't know. I thought it hit him in the ear. I really did. 3-1 the count to JJ with a runner in scoring position now. Here's the pitch. Swung on and it's grounded sharply into right field. It's a base hit. Snow is around third. He's on his way to the plate. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and it's an RBI base knock for J.J. Kennett, who is on fire.
Tom, he is now 6 for his last 13 with 4 RBIs, a pair of home runs. He's really making noise in the bottom of the order. That's very welcome for this Baylor team.
Oh, is it ever? It is a multi-hit game for J.J. Kennett. And for J.J., that is now his 8th of the season.
Well, Murphy has yet to retire a batter this inning, Tom. We'll see how much longer they leave him in.
J.J. at first base, and here's Ty Johnson. We need Ty Joe to get in on the hit parade. 4-2 Bears. They put a 2 spot up on the board, still nobody out. Murphy's ready. Here's the pitch. It's a butt up the third base line. It is a good one. It is picked up by the third baseman Phillips. His throw to first, not in time. I think if he lets that ball roll, it's going to roll foul.
I agree, Tom. That ball was about to roll foul, and Phillips picked it up, and the Bears will take that because he didn't have nearly enough time to get that throw off once he did.
And Ty will take that. He needs a freebie.
He does.
Now, to his credit, he pushed that bump nicely up the third baseline, but I truly believe that if Austin Phillips lets that ball roll a couple of more rotations, that it's going to be into foul territory.
100%.
J.J. Kennett ends up at second. Now here's Robert De La Garza, who grounded out to the shortstop, Laura Quinte, his first time up. Murphy to the stretch. Here's the pitch. It's a strike at the letters as De La Garza shows bunt, but watches it go by for a strike, and it's 0-1. To De La Garza. Let's see what Jim Blair dials up. He's got traffic on the bases. He's got an opportunity to do some things. He's coaching at third, and Zach Dillon is coaching at first. Outfield playing straight away for the 8-hole hitter, Robert De La Garza. De La Garza hitting .222. And the 0-1 pitch. Shows bunt. Takes it for, well, it's ruled that he bunted at it and missed it, so it's a strike. Yeah. The pitch was outside. They appealed to the first base umpire, Andrew Fulton, who says that he offered at it. And now De La Garza is in a hole at 0-2, and they're going to have to take the bunt off. Well, they don't have to, but in all likelihood they will. Murphy to the stretch. And the 0-2, way outside for a ball. De La Garza lays off of it, and it's 1-2. De La Garza does not have an RBI this season. A base knock could get his first RBI. J.J. Kennett's at second. Ty Johnson is at first. Still nobody out. Move the base runners along. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and grounded on the right side, and it's going to be grabbed by the second baseman, Melendez. He'll go to first for the out, and that's maybe another half a hop, and it's into right field.
I agree. That was a nice play by Melendez, ranging a nice throw on the run, but, you know, he doesn't get credit for a sacrifice, but he did sacrifice the runners over there essentially with that, and he almost got himself a base hit, but good job putting it in play on a 2-strike count.
Well, he failed to sacrifice a couple of times, and he does the next best thing. He puts the ball in play, and you talked about that at the top of the broadcast. Put the darn ball in play and let's see what happens, and he did, and now you got second and third for Reebok. J.J. Kennett's at third, and here's the pitch to Pearson. It's outside for a ball. Ty Johnson with Goodwill's at second.
Tell you what, they're sticking with Murphy a little longer than I thought they might.
Well, remember they didn't have anybody down there, and they're just now getting going down there. Here's the 1-0. It's low for a ball. It is 2-0. Now, Pearson right now, Derek, let's hope he gets a pitch to hit. He's going to be looking for center cut. Fastball, middle, and let's see if he can smoke one. 2-0 the count to Pearson. Landon Murphy deals the 2-0. Swung on it. It's a chopper up the first baseline, but fouled. It's 2-1. I think he got what he was looking for.
He did. Just didn't quite get the swing on it he wanted.
Travis Sanders is on deck. Bears have J.J. at third. They've got Ty Joe over at second. They have put 2 runs on the board here in the inning. They've out-hit UTA tonight 7-3, just what the doctor ordered. And again, tonight it's been about some traffic on the bases. 2-1 the count to Reebok of the 2-1 pitch. Is swung on and it's grounded to the shortstop, Larquente. He'll field, he'll throw high to first, but the first baseman, Digert, able to pull it down. It's an RBI ground out as J.J. Kennett comes home to score, and it's now a 5-2 Baylor lead.
Well, the Bears are taking advantage of opportunities. Sure, you would have loved to hit, but the lead is now 3 runs at 5-2. The Bears have put a big crooked number on the board.
All of this here in the third inning. Now back to the top of the order. This is the third AB for Travis Sanders, and we're in the third inning. Sanders is 1 for 1. He singled and walked. Murphy with a Baylor Bear 90 feet away, and Ty Johnson. Baylor's put a 3 spot on the board in the inning. Here's the pitch to Travis. Swung on a miss. Boy, he got a hanging breaking ball.
He did.
Holy smokes, did he get a hanger. A hanging breaking ball, and he swings under it for strike 1.
Yeah, Murphy was lucky that pitch was so far up.
0-1 the count to Travis Sanders. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's inside for a ball. The Bears have played at 3. They got one 90 feet away, and a 1-1 strike count to Travis Sanders. 5-7 for Baylor, 2-3 for UTA. 1-1 the count and the pitch. Way outside for a ball, and it's 2-1. Dylan Perez is on deck. 2 balls and 1 strike to Travis Sanders. Be here Friday night, 6:30. Tech in town. Bears need you. 2-1 the count. The 2-1. There's a fastball, high and away, ball 3, 3-1. First base is open. You think they're a little careful to Travis?
Yeah, and Travis isn't trying to give himself up.
Nope.
He's not trying to get himself out, I should say. He's taking close pitches, and that's what you want.
He'll be locked and loaded for this one. It's a 3-1 pitch coming with 2 outs and a runner at third base. That's Ty Johnson at third. And the 3-1. It's high, ball 4. That's, you know what, if you're going to, he's been on base 3 times.
Yeah, you'll take it. We don't care how. As we've discussed, and now Dylan Perez will be the 8th man to hit this inning. He's also batting for the 3rd time in as many frames.
He had a 2-run single back in the second. Baylor with 2 in the second, 3 here in the third. And quite frankly, if you're feeling a little guilty, they should have played it a couple of runs in the first inning. So Perez is 1 for 2 tonight. He grounded out in the first. He singled and drove in a pair in the second. RBI 6 and 7 on the year. He's got Sanders at first. He's got Ty Joe at third. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball for a strike, delayed still, and Travis just jogs down to second with his 18th stolen base.
Clark Springs wasn't trying to throw it down there and maybe give the runner at third base, Ty Johnson, a chance to come home.
Now you have 2 in scoring position if you can get it done with 2 outs. 0-1 the count. The pitch is swung on and a chopper on the right side of the infield. Melendez has it and throws out Dylan Perez, and the inning is over. But the Bears do come up with 3 runs. They do it on 3 base hits, including a Tice Armstrong home run, and the Bears strand a pair. Through 3. Our new score here this evening is Baylor 5 and UTA 2. This is Bears Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hey Baylor fans, this is your call to gear up with Harley-Davidson of Waco. Whether you're hitting the open road or tailgating at McLean Stadium, we've got the ride to match your Bear pride. Check out our wide selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles, visit our service department, or shop all the latest gear and accessories to show off your Baylor spirit and Harley pride. Visit us today and find your freedom on two wheels. Harley-Davidson of Waco, where Baylor fans never ride alone. Visit in-store or at hdwaco.com. Sick 'em Bears.
Do you want to earn points while cheering on your favorite Baylor teams? Join Baylor Bold Rewards. Track your attendance on the Baylor Sports app across athletic events and earn points towards prizes and experiences. Download the Baylor Sports app or register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com and start earning your points today.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hi, Derek Smith. I'm Tom Barfield. We welcome you back to beautiful Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark on the Baylor University campus at the Turner Riverfront Athletic Complex. We've got 3 in the books, and the Bears are leading tonight 5-2. Baylor's produced 5 runs. They've done it on 7 hits, no errors, and they've already left 6 men on base. For the Mavericks from Texas, Arlington, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and they have stranded 4 base runners. The Charlie Atkinson evening is done, and now it is going to be Cade Hansen going to the bump for the Bears. McFadden 2 innings, Atkinson an inning, and now Cade Hansen. And here with the 4th is Derek.
Thank you, Tom. You can close the book on McFadden. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits in 2+ innings. Atkinson pitched a scoreless inning with a walk, and now Cade Hansen takes over. The senior has struggled this year, 0-3, a 12.86 ERA, 16 strikeouts, 9 walks for the senior. He has allowed 40 hits in 21 innings of work. He was credited with the loss last week in Huntsville, but getting the opportunity tonight as he goes to work on the lower third of the UT Arlington order. How about that sun out there, Tom, over downtown Waco? It is a perfect orange orb. Just somehow breaking through the haze over there.
Yeah, and it's a round thing out there, too. It's beautiful.
It is. Nice view this evening.
It's an orb.
It is an orb. That's a good word.
Yeah.
It's also a circle. There's a ground ball out to shortstop, right to Travis Sanders. He throws on the run. 1 pitch, 1 out. A good start for Cade Hansen. Here is Clark Springs, the catcher. It's been a muggy night. In fact, it was downright unpleasantly humid as we started the game, if we're being perfectly honest, but it has cooled off a bit, and that's nice. You know, we saw that front come in a bit, Tom, and thankfully no rain, as there's a pitch to Springs that just misses ball 1, but it seems to have pushed some of the just that humidity out of here. Here's the pitch. A fastball gets by Kinnitz through the left-handed batter's box and is all the way to the backstop. Cade Hansen, the Wisconsin Whitewater transfer. He's had his struggles this year, but see if he can find a bit of a groove here at the end of the year. Misses, though, to Springs, 3-0. You wonder how long the leash is going to be. The pitch down low, ball 4. That's a 4-pitch walk after the 1 pitch out to start the inning. And the batter will be Austin Phillips. Phillips, a .243 hitter.
I did not realize this, but a great note from Max Calderon from the previous inning. Travis Sanders stole that bag, his 18th of the season, the most by a Baylor Bear since Logan Brown, 21 in 2015.
Wow, that's
Logan Brown. Let's take a journey.
Yeah. There's a strike on the outside corner to Phillips. The count is 0-1. Yeah, it's fun when some of these stats bring up names we haven't thought about in a little bit.
Yeah, that guy could play, though. You know what?
Yeah.
Logan Brown was a good ball player.
Runner at first, 1 out, 0-1 the count to Austin Phillips. And the pitch, paint on the outside corner with a sinking fastball, 0-2. You know, and honestly, you look at that, Tom, that's a good pitch right there to a right-handed hitter.
Sure.
Too often the fastball has been hittable from him this year.
It's not the stuff, it's I think it's been more of the location than it has been the stuff. He's low 90s.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, fouled back into the netting. Five runs, 7 hits for the Bears. 2 runs, 3 hits for UT Arlington. This 5-2 score is actually the final score of a Baylor win in Arlington on April 7th. 0-2. Middle infield at double play depth, and the pitch bounces up there. It squirts through J.J. Kinnett, but he recovers quickly. Nice job to hold the runner there, Clark Springs, at first base.
Yeah, that's a mistake by Springs. I mean,
Yeah,
honestly, that ball got away far enough for him to get down in the scoring position, but again, with 1 out, he just didn't do it.
1-2. The pitch to Phillips, down and away, and it's 2-2. Wind is barely moving the flag out in center field, just rustling it out towards the river. 2-2. Cade Hansen, the tall right-hander, cuts it loose, and that is ripped into left field. It's down for a base hit. So there's 2 on with 1 out. Clark Springs stops at second base on the Austin Phillips single. And it's back to the top of the order for Harold Liraquinte, who's reached twice today.
Yeah, that's tough. You walk the 8-hole hitter and you give up a hit to the 9-hole hitter. Now Liraquinte's coming to the plate, and the Bears haven't got him out yet.
Well, let's see if they can do so here. 1 out, runners at first and second. You'd love a ground ball. One of these Baylor infielders. Liraquinte, a .290 batter, a pair of homers, 20 RBIs. He represents the potential tying run here at the top of the 4th inning. The pitch from Hansen, down and in, almost. Oh, it did hit him, says home plate umpire John Wolf. Well, Baylor still has not retired Liraquinte. And the bases are loaded with 1 out. Springs to third, Phillips to second. And the batter is Preston Knott, who walked his last time up. We're going to see a mound visit from pitching coach Sean Snedeker as Cade Hansen just struggles to retire batters consecutively. And now the walk has been an issue. A walk, a single, and a hit batter.
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy's earned his way on.
Yeah.
One. I mean, and you've hit one and you've walked one, so now you've got yourself in a jam with 1 out in the 2-hole hitter at the plate.
Preston Knott, a .254 batter, 2 homers, 14 RBIs. He has struck out 31 times this year. But UT Arlington has loaded the bases with 1 out.
Derek, where's the thermostat? I want the air conditioner.
Yeah, let's. I'm with you. We need an oscillating fan. Here's the kick and the pitch to Knott. Just misses inside with a fastball. Ball 1.
And those borderline pitches, when you're not in a good groove, those borderline pitches just don't go your way.
That's a great point. I mean, umpires can get in a rhythm one way or the other.
No question. And if you show them that you can hit your spots, and they'll work with you.
Here is the pitch. Swing and a rip foul up the first baseline.
Boy,
evens the count of 1-1.
That one was hit hard.
It was.
Now, clearly it was foul by 25 feet, but he got the barrel on it.
He was out in front. Preston Knott, the hitter. Bases are full of Mavericks here in the top of the 4th inning. Baylor nursing a 3-run lead. The pitch to Knott is turned on again and fouled off the front of the dugout. He has been out in front of these last 2 pitches. One a fastball, that one a breaking ball. And he's in a hole now at 1-2. Be big if you could punch him out with the bases loaded and 1 away.
I'm no meteorologist, but I'm going to play one here on the radio.
Yeah.
The wind has shifted from blowing out to blowing in.
You're right. Just that fast. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A check swing, breaking ball in there, strike 3. Big strikeout for Cade Hansen and the Bears, and there's 2 away.
Man, I think the pitch was a strike. I know
agree.
he swung, but
agree.
We're going to get a look at it here. And no, it was off the plate.
Just off the plate a tad.
But that's a good pitch.
So now with 2 outs, the batter is Hank Harp. Harp is 1 for 1. He is 1 for 1 with a single in the pitch. Breaking ball down and away, and it is 1-0. I beg your pardon, a first inning double and then a walk for the right fielder. 358 hitter with 8 RBIs. Big batter for Kate Hansen and the Bears with the bases loaded and 2 down. 3-run Baylor lead, and the pitch is flared into center field, but Ty Johnson has its measure, and he chases it down. Nice job by Hansen to work out of that bases loaded jam and send this game on to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Bears up 5-2 on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hellberg Barbecue is a family-owned business started here in Waco, Texas, and proud to serve the local area. They love to cater all kinds of events, big and small. Serving Baylor and its families is one of their favorite things, and they even ship barbecue nationwide. Check them out while here in Waco or online and support one of Waco's local barbecue restaurants, Hellberg Barbecue. Salt, pepper, and a whole lot of prayer.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Rudy's is a proud sponsor of Baylor Baseball. Go to Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget, Rudy's serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. 5-2 Baylor lead as we head to the home 4th inning, and there's a new pitcher out there for the Mavericks. It is Charlie Geis. Geis, a tall right-hander who in 4 appearances has not factored into a decision. He's pitched just 4 innings. And his ERA is inflated, 11.25. Charlie Geis, a 6'5 righty out of Rowlett, Texas, a transfer from Ohio State, will come on here in the 4th inning and will face Janusek, Armstrong, and Snow. So Geis is on in place of Landon Murphy, who struggled in his outing for UTA. 3 runs in an inning and a third. Wind has shifted again, has it not, Tom?
Oh, it's
out again.
It's blowing out. This is strange.
It's kind of a weird weather night, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
It's been humid, then it cooled off a little bit. Now it's warm again. We saw clouds out over the Brazos River that almost looked like rain but didn't bring any, no threat. Here's a pitch outside. Ball 1-2 Janusek. Janusek has walked and struck out in 2 trips. The kick and the 1-0 pitch. Fastball off the plate away. Geis, a tall right-hander, 3rd pitcher of the night for the Mavericks.
Janusek was one of those Bears that got a home run out in Phoenix, and boy, he smoked his.
Yeah, it was 458 feet. Got tied up inside with a fastball on the 2-0 count. Swings and misses, 2-1. He ran into his family at DFW Airport. They were getting ready to head back to Argyle. Nice to visit with them.
Late at night, I might add.
Did you get a good night's sleep, Tom? A lot of refreshing sleep Sunday night?
I certainly did.
Yep, 3-1 now as the pitch misses down and in.
Laid my head on the pillow, and it was time to get up and go to work.
That's right. That's kind of how it worked. 3-1. Janusek leading off the inning. The pitch from Geis. He took a cut at the fastball, came up empty. A little bit of sink there, and now the count full, 3-2.
I'll say this. I had Bruce Gietzen, the former Channel 25 anchor, on my show on Monday, and I really didn't have to do a whole lot. He just kind of took the ball and ran.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I appreciate that. Thank you,
That's
Bruce.
Nice. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. That's another strikeout for Janusek. 2 of them this evening. You know, you look tonight, Baylor hitters, in fact, struck out just 2 times, so he has both of them. And the batter is Tice Armstrong. Tice delivered home run number 17 on the year, his last at-bat, his 49th RBI. He is now tied for 6th all-time on the program's single-season home run list. Looks at a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. That was a 400-plus foot home run off the bat of Baylor's cleanup hitter. 0-1. Geis cuts it loose, and it's down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'll say this about Geis. I like the tempo in which he works.
He does move quickly, doesn't he?
Yep, doesn't mess around. Gets there and gets going.
Now, Tice, after the pitch, he just steps back into his stance, and he's ready to go, too. 1-1 pitch is a breaking ball away. Tice wanted to offer, but he laid off. That's one that can give him fits sometimes, but you like seeing that discipline. 2-1. He's ahead in the count is Tice. The pitch from Geis is swung on, and he just sort of whips it back foul behind the plate. 2-2.
I think he wants that one over.
I imagine, yeah.
Wow, that was a pitch that he drives normally.
Taps the bat head on the plate, and we'll await the 2-2 pitch. 1 out, bases empty. Bears up by 3 here in the 4th inning. He bounces a foul off the front of the Baylor dugout. Breaking ball. And the count holds 2-2.
Now Jim Blair made the play there, Derek, off the front of the dugout.
Got to give him credit.
That looked a lot better.
You've been working with him?
I have. We've been working.
Mm-hmm. The 2-2 grounded up the middle. It is backhanded by the second baseman, and a nice play retires Armstrong. The second baseman, Melendez, made a backhand pick behind the bag at second base and threw a rainbow to first in time to beat Armstrong for the out.
That's a big league play. I mean, that ball is literally on the shortstop side of the second base bag out in shallow center field. 9 times out of 10, or maybe 90 times out of 100, that's a base hit. But he went and got that ball, Melendez did, and threw out Tice.
Hunter Snow, the 2-out batter. The pitch. Breaking ball drops in, strike 1. And that's one where the throw had some air under it. It was a rainbow, but it had enough zip on it, and that's hard to do. 0-1 to the 2-out batter is Snow. He has a walk to his credit in 2 trips tonight. In the pitch, a dribbler foul up the first base line. 0-2 to the left-handed hitter.
Derek, you had stepped out, but I did mention that Texas Tech and Oklahoma were going to play in Frisco tonight. Canceled due to weather.
Yeah, they probably don't want to get out in what we saw on the radar.
No.
0-2. Here's the pitch. That is golfed into center field. It's down for a hit. Nice swing on that by Hunter Snow. Cracking an 0-2 pitch into center field, and he extends the inning. For a guy you want to see up, J.J. Kennett, 2 for 2 today.
Well,
and 6 for his last 13.
I'm excited for Hunter Snow. I mean, this is a guy we know can hit, and we know he can hit for power. But he is just like several Bears this season. He's just gotten in a funk and hasn't been able to get out of it. But so that's a nice job. And look, he walked and stole a base back in the 3rd, so that's good stuff.
Well, Kennett, his batting average is almost to 300 now on the strength of his recent hot streak. He looks at a breaking pitch away, ball 1.
And it's in the hot streak. That's one way to put it. He is also hitting the ball on the button. I mean, he's not. There's no flares and humpback liners in this thing. He is smoking the baseball all over the park.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Catches the inside corner, 1-1. And, and that's a great point, Tom. And another thing is, you mentioned even his outs, you feel like he's hitting it hard. He's giving you good at-bats. And
good loud outs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw a couple of them in Phoenix. You went, wow, hit it someplace else, and that's a double.
The pitch grounded into right field. There's another one. 3-hit day for J.J. Snow throws on the brakes at second base, and there's 2 aboard for Ty Johnson. A 3-hit evening for J.J. Kennett. That matches his career high. Second time he has reached, third time, I beg your pardon, he's reached 3 hits in a game. The last time he did it was at Cincinnati on April 1st.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Snow stumbled and hit the bag awkwardly going around second, That's why he threw the brakes on and didn't go to third. But Mr. Barn.
Yeah, Josh Barnhill checking him out.
Yeah, checking him out. I gave him some respect, called him Mr. I don't know who drinks more coffee, him or you.
We should measure it over the course of a week. I don't know. Keep a record.
He's got a coffee pot in the training room.
He
I
does.
know that.
Here is the pitch to Ty Johnson. There's a pitch missing, down ball one.
Don't you just love what's happening for JJ right now?
You do.
He's such a hard worker. Leader on the club. Just a baseball player.
1-0. 2 on, 2 out. The pitch to Ty Johnson is bounced short of the right field side as the first baseman makes a play. Oh, nice collaboration there between Dygert and the pitcher Geis, and the Bears are going to want a replay here. We want to see this because Hunter Snow had come around to score, and if that is not an out, if that's not a force play, the inning continues and you've got to run.
And this is going to be close, but I really think that he got the foot there from up here from the naked eye. But I'm telling you right now, this wasn't, now let me just be real clear, this wasn't Ty Johnson asking for it. This was Zach Dillon emphatically asking for a review, as was Jim Blair over at third. And they think that Ty Johnson got an infield single. And if so, like you said, Hunter Snow boogies around third and gets to the pay station. That's a run. This is a big call.
Yeah, if the call stands or is confirmed, the inning is over. If the call is overturned, then the Bears have a run and 2 on with 2 out for Robert De La Garza. So that ball was bounced towards shallow right field, but the first baseman, Kalen Dygert, ranged far to his right to grab it on the hop. The pitcher there, Charlie Geis, did what you're supposed to do. He raced over to first to cover, but they got there about the same time, him and Ty Johnson.
Now, again, it's got to be undisputed evidence that they made a mistake. We're going to get a replay here in our booth. And here he comes with the foot going down, and he's out.
Out by a half a step.
Yep.
If that.
Yep.
Now, I'll say this, though. That's a worthy challenge because, as you said, that's a run.
Yeah.
But it was that's worth, I think, burning one even if you don't get it right now, because that is a run-scoring play. And, boy, that was bang, bang. Ty was racing up the line.
Yes, he was.
And, give Geis credit. He was doing what he's supposed to do. That throw also from the second baseman, Melendez, was high.
Now
that angle almost looks.
I know, and that was the angle that that I got initially. And of course, that's the angle that we're looking at from up here in the booth, is basically behind the runners, and the pitcher covering. So that one looked like it was, well, basically a tie.
It
almost
did, and
I know theoretically there's no such thing as a tie. I mean, I get all that, but first of all, there's not enough to overturn it.
Here we go. Point to first.
He's out.
And out. With the challenge, but it doesn't go Baylor's way.
I agree, 100%.
Well, the Bears tried to mount a 2-out rally, but can't bring it to its completion, and so they strand a pair after 2 2-out hits. We head to the 5th with the score, Baylor 5, UT Arlington 2. You're listening to Baylor Baseball, the Baylor Sports Media Network.
If you need a trailer, Flat Rock Trailers has got you covered. From light-duty single-axle utility trailers to the big Tex tandem duals. We also carry a full line of enclosed cargo trailers. Need a motorcycle trailer? We've got them. Need a dump trailer? We've got the largest selection in the state. Oil field trailers? We carry a full line of big Tex trailers to handle all your needs. Trailer repairs? We repair all makes and models. We'll even rent you a trailer if you need to use one for a day. Flat Rock Trailers, your #1 source for all your trailer needs. Find us at flatrocktrailers.com.
Proudly serving Texas since 2007, Magnolia Realty is a full-service brokerage and a trusted neighbor, bridging expert industry knowledge with integrity and kindness. Known for their award-winning agents, Magnolia Realty understands the dynamics of making the real estate journey your own and the importance of trust from contract to close. You can find their local agents here in Waco and across the state, including in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, and Temple. To get connected and learn more, visit magnoliarealty.com. Here's to home.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
New pitcher takes over for the Bears. Braden Bergman on the hill after a scoreless inning from Cade Hansen, who was able to work out of a jam there in the 4th inning. Bergman, the 4th arm of the night for the Bears, making his 18th appearance. Redshirt freshman is 1-0 with a 4.34 ERA. 18 2/3. He has allowed 12 hits, struck out 21, and he's walked 17. He struggled with his command as of late, Tom, and an opportunity for him to hopefully be in the zone to try to correct that as he looks to give the Bears a scoreless inning or two. It is a 5-2 Baylor lead. Baylor fell behind 1-0, then took the lead in the second on a Dylan Perez 2-out, 2-run single. After UT Arlington tied it in the third, the Bears reclaimed the lead with 3 runs. The big blow in that one, a home run by Tice Armstrong, his 17th of the season. He's over there talking to their first base coach. Of course, Tice going up against his former team. Played 3 years for them, had a career, what at the time was a career-high 12 home runs for the Mavericks, including one against the Bears. But he has come here and bested that with 17, 5 more than his previous career high. And we've still got about 20% of the regular season left to play. It'll be Melendez, McAfee, and Mazak, 3, 4, and 5 that Bergman will face. Here's the kick and the pitch. Ooh, that would have been right back up in here, Tom, if not for the netting. A breaking ball fouled back into the netting, and the count is 0-1.
Well, I'm not going to be like you when, like you were in Phoenix. You didn't charge it.
I threw the arms out. But
that ball was coming now.
It was.
There was an express headed our way and got into our booth. I mean, that was on Friday night,
too,
right out of the box.
First. That was it, though. That was our one chance.
Yep.
Wave and a miss and a high fastball, and the count 0-2 to Melendez. That's the first time I've had a foul ball come in the booth.
I'm trying to remember. If we did, it's been few and far between.
Yeah.
But, we talked about that when we got there. Said, hey, we're in foul ball territory.
Here's the 0-2, just off the plate away. Bergman wanted that one. That one crackled just off the plate at 94.
Yeah, he's got good stuff tonight at 94 miles an hour. And he looks, just smooth with that 94. There's a lot of guys that work and strain to get 94, not him.
Here's the kick and the 1-2. Fouled back. Melendez stumbled over the plate but made contact to live to see another pitch.
And Bergman again just challenging with the express.
Tell you what, he had that fastball working against TCU last week. He still struggled with his command a bit, but velocity's been good, and he was located in it last week. Breaking ball high, and it's 2-2. I mentioned the upcoming weekend series welcomes the Red Raiders of Texas Tech to town Friday at 6:30, Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 1 here in the friendly confines.
Get your tickets.
Here is the pitch, breaking ball high, and now the count is full.
Well, he's throwing back-to-back breaking balls and with the exact same result, up in the zone.
Stares in at his catcher, J.J. Kinnon. Now Bergman stretches, pitches, and it's swung on and missed. Elevated the fastball. Melendez actually just got a piece of it, but a strikeout nonetheless. As Bergman does a nice job getting him to chase that high fastball.
Yeah, thanks to Melendez, he chased a pitch up and out of the zone. Good stuff.
Yeah,
94.
that was a little further off the plate than I even realized when I saw the replay there.
Not enough stick for Melendez.
Here's Andrew McAfee. Now batter pitch. Sinker inside. Did he go around? No. That was close. Andrew McAfee gets the benefit of the doubt. MCC transfer. Here is the pitch. Up high, and it's 2-0. J.J. Kennett out to have a brief word with Bergman. We're in the top of the 5th inning. UT Arlington batting, Baylor with a 5-2 lead. Baylor trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. Longest of the year and the second longest in Mitch Thompson's tenure. It's come at a bad time, but it does come with enough time to try to right the ship.
And that's the message.
2-0. Here is the pitch. Wave and a miss. Took a little something off the fastball and dotted the outside edge.
Yeah, and that's fine because McAfee was incredibly tardy on that swing. Yeah, the message is there's plenty of time. Well, no, the message is there's still time.
There's still time. You got to take advantage. Fastball down, and it is 3-1 to McAfee.
There's urgency.
Yeah, there has to be.
There has to be urgency.
Well, we're about 80% of the season's gone. At the moment, Baylor is. There's a pitch fouled off. Fastball, pop behind the plate. Either off the bubble or barely on it. Now, they can play their way back in, but it's going to take a hot streak. Or you'll go to Surprise, Arizona, needing to basically run the table. Well, not just basically needing to run the table to win. Payoff on the way to McAfee, and that's a fly ball out to right field, right center. It's Janiusek's ball. He circles back into the alley and puts it away for the second out of the inning.
I love watching the communication of outfielders that are comfortable with each other. I mean, that was just, I mean, you look up and you're watching that ball and you're like, well, that's just a routine fly ball. No, there's no such thing. I mean, it takes the communication, it takes the experience, and they take care of it right there. Ty Johnson and Brady with good communication and good execution.
Here's Zach Mazak with 2 outs. Fastball misses just off the plate inside. Ball 1. You know, not that they're perfect out there, but this Baylor outfield this year has really handled their spots well. Ooh, that pitch misses from Bergman. A fastball down in. It's Mazak.
And you're right. It's been, you know, there's been different combinations with Carraway in the lineup, Hunter Snow in the lineup. I mean, there's been several different combinations in that outfield, but for the most part, you're right. The communication's been there, the execution's been there, and you got talented athletes out there.
Yep.
It's a fast outfield.
This is a big outfield here at Baylor Ballpark, and they've covered it well. Here's Caden Dygert. Dygert 1 for 2 today. The pitch, swing, and a fly ball back to right field. Brady Janusek at the front edge of the warning track, drops it. He had to circle back in, had trouble reading it, and all hands are safe. Mazak has to stop at third base. Now, he was going on contact with 2 outs, but still wasn't able to come home. That ball honestly looked to me like it was going to go back further. Then as Janusek stopped and circled at the edge of the warning track front edge, he had to lean in a bit and couldn't handle it. He dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, as the ball descended, you could tell that Brady was having trouble with it and kind of circled it. And now you got second and third and 2 out.
That'll go as an E9 and extend the inning for Clark Springs. Well, just as we're talking about the Baylor outfield's prowess, Tom.
But that's just the second error committed by Janusek out there.
Baylor with a 5-2 lead, but runners at second and third with 2 outs. Big batter here for Braden Bergman. His ball 1 misses, then does ball 2. A couple of fastballs. And you mentioned that, Tom, just the second error for Brady Janusek. Ty Johnson has not committed an error. Here's the pitch to Springs, outside corner for a strike, 2-1.
I'm going to see Berge battle back right here and get this thing done right here.
Mazak at third, Dygert at second, and that pitch grazes Springs.
Did it? No, it didn't. No, it did not.
Well, he was trying to sell it.
And he sold the heck out of it, didn't he? Now here comes.
Well, they're going to talk. Mike Trapasso, the head coach for UT Arlington. Here's a look at the replay, Tom. And it did not hit him.
No. Good sell.
It was close.
Good sell.
Yeah, now the umpires are going to discuss. So here's the thing, by trying to sell it, okay with this, he just forced his team a challenge that they're going to lose, I believe. And they're going to go take a look at this. If the call is overturned, which we do not believe it will, the bases will be loaded for Austin Phillips with 2 away. If it is not, then it will be a 3-1 count with 2 away. Now, him trying to sell that just cost his team a challenge.
John Wolf is talking to everybody who'll listen.
Yeah. Home plate umpire. Here's a look at it again. Yeah, that did not hit him. Unless it barely grazed him on the back end right as JJ was going to catch it, but I don't believe it did.
And if it catches that sleeve of the uniform, that is a hit batter.
That's true. Now, did it get that?
I don't know.
Maybe, but I don't know that you can overturn it based on what we saw. It might have hit the sleeve, but I don't know what we're seeing here. You can.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it did not hit the sleeve. That sleeve did not. It didn't move. The sleeve didn't move.
Puff up, kind of.
And it's a big decision here. Bases loaded or 3-1 with 2 outs and runners at second and third.
They're taking their time in there. I mean, if it got him on the sleeve.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything there that makes you think they can overturn it. But
boy, and he dropped that bat and he went flying down to first base, didn't he?
He was selling it. All right, here's the umpire. He will point to first.
3-1.
3-1.
So it did not hit him.
Did not hit him.
Nice job. I mean,
if
you're not trying.
Yeah. Hey, they did not confirm it, though. The call just merely stands. Two on, 2 out, and a 3-1 count to Clark Springs. See if Bergman can come right back with a strike. He does not. Fastball misses up high, and the bases are loaded.
A hit batter, an error, and a walk, and now you're in some trouble.
Well, let's see if Austin Phillips, who singled his last time up, if he can jump ahead or retire him quickly. And we're going to have a mound visit from Sean Snedeker, Baylor's pitching coach. Jogs out to the mound. Good start to the inning, right? A strikeout of Xavier Melendez, a good hitter. Then he gets Xander McAfee to fly out to right field, but Zach Mazok hit by a pitch. And Kalen Digert. It's a fly ball to right field that's misread and then misplayed by Brady Janusek. And now Springs has drawn the walk. Meeting adjourns. Sean Snedeker back in the dugout, and now the batter, Phillips, will stand in. 248 hitter. 3 homers, 14 runs batted in. Tying runs aboard here in the top of the 5th inning, and the pitch. Strike at the top of the zone. It is 0-1. UT Arlington has loaded the bases with 2 outs. The pitch up and in, and it's 1-1. Well, after a couple of free passes, there's obviously nowhere to put him here.
Berge having trouble with command of the breaking stuff.
It'll be a 1-1 to Phillips. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swung on and popped up behind the plate. That's going to drift onto the roof here at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, and the count is 1-2.
Came with the heat and got him to foul it back. Now you're a strike away from getting out of the inning. And Derek, I was just looking at the radar. There's showers and thunderstorms in the Hillsboro-Whitney area, but it doesn't look like it's going to get here till late tonight.
Well, that's good. 1-2. Here is the pitch. He goes chasing a nice breaking ball. That's a strikeout. That's the second for Bergman as UT Arlington strands the bases loaded. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 3 left on base. We head to the bottom of 5 with the score. Baylor 5, UT Arlington 2 here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
We don't just build trucks. We build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Toyota Tundra isn't just built in Texas. It's built by Texas. Every line, weld, and seal, shaped with the pride, heat, and strength that only Texas really knows. The Tundra is built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make new ones. Built to roll with the punches and to go the distance. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Muggy night in Waco on the Brazos River. We head to the bottom of the fifth inning. The Bears will bat, looking to extend a 5-2 lead. Charlie Geis back out there for his second inning of work for the Mavericks. Big blow in this one, a solo homer by Tice Armstrong, his 17th of the year. Two-run single by Dylan Perez with 2 outs in the second inning. They accounted for 3 of Baylor's 5 runs thus far. Robert De La Garza will lead things off. A pair of groundouts for the Baylor third baseman. Bears are down a couple of third basemen with both Brighton Clemens, who is out indefinitely, and Cade Dodson out for the year, unavailable. De La Garza, right-handed batter, will face the right-handed pitcher Geis, who delivers a breaking ball that looked like a decent pitch, but we will take that, and it is 1-0. Baylor has out-hit UT Arlington 9-4, outscored him 5-2. Here is the pitch. Fastball. That one missing, and it is 2-0. De La Garza, Odessa Junior College transfer, Eagle Pass, Texas native. Here is the pitch. That is swung on and bounced fair up the third base line. A bare hand pick by Phillips, and then he throws wide of first for an error. That was a nice pick, but he just kind of flung it there after the pick, realizing he had to get it over there quickly, and that is off the mark. Taking a look at that replay again. Yep, hit that. A good throw would have had him, and well, no, that goes as a hit. The 10th hit of the game for De La Garza. Leadoff single for Baylor's third baseman. And here is Reebok. We'll see if he tries to bunt him over, and instead of Baylor's lead, there is a late square, and he drops a bunt. It is picked up by the catcher, and the throw on to first by Springs in time for the out, but he does his job.
That's well done. That's good execution right there on the part of Pearson Reebok.
Didn't mess around, did he? Just dropped the bunt, got a pitch, and bunted it squarely in front of the plate.
Well, that's what you're supposed to. You're up 5-2. Now it's add-on time. Keep adding on and keep extending the lead, and you turn the lineup over for a guy that's really going well right now, and that's Travis Sanders, who singled back in the first for his 60th hit of the year, which leads the club, and this is a guy you want at the plate.
Sanders has not been retired tonight. Runner at second base. 1 out, the pitch, a breaking ball outside corner to strike 1.
Derek, Kansas is on their way to their 34th win of the year, leading Wichita State 9-1 in the 6th inning.
That's 34 wins against how many losses?
11.
Awfully good year there in Lawrence. 0-1. Here is the pitch. Fastball off the plate away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the fans up there have really bought into that team. They really haven't had much to cheer about in the Springs over the years. One out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here is the pitch to Sanders. That is bounced out towards shortstop. And it is grabbed and thrown on by Lara Quinte for the second out of the inning. De La Garza has to stay put. That'll bring up Dylan Perez. See if he can come through with a 2-out hit like he did in the second inning that got the Bears on the board.
Well, he's due because in the first he grounded out to second. In the second he singled. In the third he grounded out to second. So if he's due a single.
Got some room up the middle there, slightly to the pull side. The first pitch he swings and pops a foul out of play behind the plate. Strike 1. A lot of runners stranded tonight. UTA has left 10 aboard, Baylor 8. They're trying to keep it at 8 right now. See if they can bring home De La Garza as Perez waits. And the pitch. Big swing and a looping breaking ball came up empty, 0-2. Baylor tonight, 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Geis checks back the runner. Ahead in the count 0-2, and the pitch is down and in near the shoe tops of Perez. There's 2 strikeouts tonight for the Bears. Perez awaits the 1-2. It's on the way, and he catches a piece of it just a bit to stay alive.
Yeah, that's fortunate for Dylan, as he just did get part of the stick to that baseball and gets another opportunity here.
Geis from the stretch. De La Garza are ready to go at second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that is hit on one hop, but right at the second baseman, Melendez. He'll throw to first for the out to retire at the side. Leadoff single, but De La Garza is stranded. 5 innings are in the books here at Baylor Ballpark. Our score remains UT Arlington 5, Baylor 2. Tom will have the call when we come back after this here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Are you a diehard Bears fan? Sure, your entire closet is Baylor green and gold. All your pets' names have started with Judge, and that good old Baylor line is your ringtone. But do you have an official Baylor University toll tag? That small green and gold sticker reps the Bears and cuts your toll bill in half. Visit getmytolltag.com to purchase your specialty tag and deck your ride with Baylor style. Small sticker, big savings, City Bears.
To the top of the 6th inning we go. Baylor with a 5-2 lead over UT Arlington, and a new pitcher takes over on the hill for the Bears to start a clean inning. It's the 4th pitcher of the night, and it is true freshman Luke McLeod. Luke McLeod, 14 appearances, 13 of them out of the pen, no decisions, and a 3.38 ERA. 11 strikeouts, 5 walks, just under 19 innings. Opposing batters are hitting .319 against the freshman from Sour Lake, Texas. Benzenese says a quick prayer, as is his custom before his outing. And now he'll go to work on the top of the order, and here to tell you all about it, Thomas Von Barfield.
Thank you, Derek. How kind of you.
The full name tonight.
Yeah. Here's Harold Quinte. He is 1 for 1, but he's been aboard all 3 times. He was walked in the first and scored. He singled and scored in the third, and then he was hit by a pitch in the fourth. So he's 1 for 1 tonight, been aboard all 3 times, a .290 hitter. McLeod's ready to go, and here's the first pitch. It is roped down the right field line. It's a fair ball, and it's headed for the corner. Janusek over to cut it off. Larquinte's around first. He is on his way to second. He is in there with a leadoff double.
Well, he just put a good swing on the first pitch he saw from McLeod, and they've got a runner in scoring position here. Obviously, you look the last couple of innings, they have threatened but not scored. You don't want to let them keep threatening because you think eventually they will break through.
Yeah, that pitch has got to. That pitch was, I mean, it was middle. It was bell tie right down the middle of the plate. Most hitters in college baseball are going to be able to put that ball in play with some authority. He did. That is his 15th double. That is, he leads the club in doubles, and he's now got a 2-hit night. Larquinte's out at first, and here's Preston Knott, the right fielder, and he looks at a breaking ball down and in. You know how baseball's a game of numbers, and interesting. Listen to this. So take the starter McFadden out of it, but Atkinson, in his inning of work, he threw 12 pitches, 6 strikes. Half of them, correct?
Yes.
1 ball and no strikes. McLeod's ready. Here's the 1-0 to Knott. He checks his swing. It's a strike, and it's 1-1. So Hansen came into the game, and he worked an inning, correct?
Yes.
18 pitches, 9 strikes.
Okay.
It gets better. Then Bergman comes in for an inning. 24 pitches, 12 strikes.
No way.
Yep, indeed.
That's a good observation.
1-1, hide away for a ball, and it's 2-1 from Luke McLeod.
Well, right now, 4 pitches by McLeod, Tom.
Yeah. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Leary.
5-2 Bears. They scored 2 in the second, 3 in the third. And we're in the top of the 6th. This pitch is rolled back up the middle. Going to be grabbed by Sanders behind the second base bag. Spins with a little pirouette and throws to first in time. That looked like a baseball bound for center field.
It did. Nice range there by Sanders, and did, like you said, a pirouette, a 360 spin there, and then was able to set his feet and make the throw.
It's a 9 by the judges. There's 1 out, 1 on, and here's the pitch to Hank Harp, and he fouls it back for strike 1. So they got 1 90 feet away, and the Bears are going to play back. They'll give up the run for the out right here. What you'd really like to see is a punchy. The old punchy. 0-1 the count. He's 1/3 of the way to the punchy. Harp, a hit, 2 official trips. He's also walked. The 0-1's a breaker that stays inside. That squares the count at 1-1.
You know, I'm okay with the term punchy, but there's a part of me that thinks even like Bob Gibson might have hit someone with the baseball if they just use the word punchy.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Just call it a punch out for me. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out and 1 on, and McLeod deals the 1-1 pitch, and there's a fastball strike at 1-2. He got that one in there at 90 miles an hour. Harp came into Waco hitting .348. He's raised the average to .353. No homers, 8 runs driven in. He doubled back at first and was stranded at third base. He walked in the third, and then he flied out to center field to end the 4th. A ball and 2 strikes. McLeod kicks and comes home with the 1-2 is a fastball called strike 3 on the inner half. There's a punch out, and there's 2 down.
Well, John Wolf took his time there, but got the outcome we wanted, a big strikeout. Especially with a runner at third and less than 2 outs at that time.
So 2 down, and now here's Xavier Melendez, the second baseman. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Bears have given up a leadoff double and have a chance to get out of the inning without giving up a run. The pitch to Melendez is swung on and foul back. There's strike 1. And I like the results since the double from Luke McLeod.
We'll see how guys can rebound. So far, so good.
Melendez stands in from the right side against the right-handed throwing Luke McLeod. The 5th pitcher of the night for the Bears. McLeod to the stretch, and here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball. He checks his swing. Did he go around? He did go around, says home plate umpire John Wolf, and it's 0-2. And you're right, John Wolf is not in any hurry.
He'll take his time.
Yeah. He'll make no call before it's time, right? Nothing at 2 the count. McLeod a chance to get out of the frame. Unscathed, the 0-2. Swung on a miss, he struck him out, and the inning is over. Despite a leadoff double, UTA comes up empty in the 6th. No runs ahead, a man is left. We go to the home half of inning number 6. It's 5-2 Bears on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
With a network of convenient pediatric primary and specialty care clinics and an advanced medical center, they offer a full range of pediatric care close to home. Learn more at bswhealth.com/McLean-Children. That's bswhealth.com/McLean-Children.
The Brazos boys are back on the diamond as Baylor baseball hosts Texas Tech May 1st through May 3rd at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark. Friday at 6:30 p.m. is 9 innings of winnings, where one lucky fan will win a prize during every inning. Saturday at 2 p.m. is Bark in the Park, so bring your dog to claim a dog bone chew toy. And Sunday at 1 p.m. is Youth Sunday, and kids 12 and under receive free admission. Purchase your tickets for Baylor versus Texas Tech now at BaylorBears.com/tickets.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Cameron Savoy is back in master control, and he's Derek. I'm Tom. We're glad to have you with us on this Tuesday night. The Bears trying to stop a 6-game skid, trying to win for the 23rd time this season, trying to win for the 16th time here in the friendly confines of Magnolia Field. The Bears, in true road games, are 6-9. In neutral site games, they're 1-5. So away from Magnolia Field, the Bears are 7-14. But here at Magnolia, they're 15-7. Looking for their 16th win. Here's Janusek. He's had a tough night, 0 for 2. He's committed an error in the field. Freshman steps in from the right side against Charlie Geis. The first pitch is swung on and grounded sharply, but right to the shortstop. And he throws him out. And there's one down. Arquente throws him out. There's one away. Again, that ball was hit on the button, but right to the shortstop. Arquente. Here's Tice Armstrong. Armstrong doubled in the first, homered in the third, and then grounded out in the fourth. So he's 2 for 3 tonight with a run scored and a run driven in. Run scored and a run driven in. First pitch to Tice is in there for strike. So he doubled in the first and was stranded at second base. 0-1 the count. Geis is ready. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. That should even count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Scoreboard has 2-0, but it is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to the UTA transfer, playing against his former teammates. He swings and chops one foul over towards the Baylor dugout. And Armstrong with the solo homer in the third inning, his 17th of the year and his 49th RBI of the year. A excellent addition to this club on the transfer. 1-2, the pitch swung on and fouled off. He fought off a pretty decent breaking ball and stays alive.
That's one that's given him trouble, as we've talked about, but he bites it off and gets to see another pitch.
1-2 the count. 1 out. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the left side of the infield and only 1 infielder on the right side. Looking for Armstrong to pull. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and driven deep to center field. Going back is McAfee. Still going back. Look it up. It's gone! A home run to straightaway center field. He's done it again. He may get to 21 tonight.
Hey, there we go. That's 18 on the year for one Tice Armstrong. Tom, he is now tied for 4th place all-time on the Baylor single-season home run list with Jason Jennings and Chris Durbin. That went over the batter's eye, well over 400 feet.
My goodness gracious. And we are going to have a weather delay.
Well, how about that?
It's got to be lightning because it's not rain.
Does.
And they're bringing them in, and now they're taking them in. And what time is it?
It is 8:47.
8:47, so 30 minutes on the clock, right?
Yeah, 9:17, and yep, Riley Severide from Athletic Facilities is out there, and we are in a weather delay of indefinite length. We know at least 30 minutes. I tell you, it's been a weird weather night, Tom. It started off just as muggy as could be. I mean, unpleasantly so. Every ball player out there, when you see the camera out there, the players, the umpires, everyone is really drenched tonight. And then you see the bad weather up in Dallas. Now Waco, we know, is under a tornado watch. And they're going to bring the I think they're going to bring the tarp out. Well, I don't know, maybe not.
Multiple home run, by the way, for Tice. I'm trying to think. Is that 4?
We'll double check on that. I believe that to be the case.
Tarp is coming out for the pitcher's mound and the home plate area only. Again, I was looking at radar just 5 minutes ago, I guess, and it appeared that everything was going to stay to the north of us. So it has to be lightning. And I'm telling you, just to the north of us, it's red.
Wow.
But it is really, when I say just north of us, Derek, it's between Hillsboro and west. I mean, it's north of west, so it's between Hillsboro and west, moving to the southeast.
So, I mean, we might be catching part of the edge of that in some form or fashion. And you know, we might 8 miles within the 8 mile radius, there might be a lightning strike 7.95 miles away, you know, but we got to stop.
So
a decision will be made on resuming the game in approximately 30 minutes is what was just said. It's an official game.
Yes.
At this juncture. 6-2 Baylor lead after the home run by Tice Armstrong.
Now, let me ask a dumb question that I don't know the answer to. If we do not resume, do you revert back to the last completed inning, which would be the 5th? It would make it a complete game, but does that take the Tice Armstrong and all the stats off the board?
Stays. I believe it stays this way, that it stays, that you play. I mean, all that has to happen is that that top half of the inning would have to, because Baylor's in the lead, you would have to.
Well, 5 is a complete game.
5 is a complete game.
It.
I mean, they could determine, maybe if it's a 6-5 ball game, maybe UT Arlington is more inclined. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I believe the box score is the box score right now. If the game were to end, it would end as is. We can verify that.
Because again, I didn't know if you reverted back to the last completed inning, which the last completed inning. Yeah, so that's going to start the clock all over again.
Yeah.
So the last true completed inning was the 5th inning, which would make it a complete game.
That is a complete game. So we're complete. We're good to go.
Yes, if it stands, it's a Baylor win.
Yeah, I believe this line score, if this is it, that line score is what we've got. We can verify
that.
Yeah,
I do want to verify that because that would be heartbreaking.
Yes. But
to have to revert back to the 5th.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll verify. In the meantime, we will throw it back to programming on ESPN Central Texas. Stay close. We will keep you updated as best we can, but we have a weather delay that will go until at least 9:20 p.m. Central Time after a lightning strike within the 8 mile radius here. Baylor with a 6-2 lead here at the ballpark. We'll take a timeout. We'll throw it back to programming, so stay tuned. We will keep you updated here as we are in a weather delay of at least 30 minutes here on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hey, Baylor fans, this is your call to gear up with Harley-Davidson of Waco. Whether you're hitting the open road or tailgating at McLean Stadium, we've got the ride to match your Bear pride. Check out our wide selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles, visit our service department, or shop all the latest gear and accessories to show off your Baylor spirit and Harley pride. Visit us today and find your freedom on 2 wheels. Harley-Davidson of Waco, where Baylor fans never ride alone. Visit in-store or at hdwaco.com. Sic 'em Bears.
Pass rush. Well, guess what can slow down the pass rush? The threat of the quarterback run. Now, there's a case to be made for anybody in the top 4 or 5 of my list to be number 1. The reason why Sands sits above all else is the completion percentage and entering into a system as an experienced starter with an unbelievable supporting cast. But to be the most accurate passer in college football over a full season in your first year as the starter, I think the arrow's only going to be pointing up. The best receiver in the country running routes for you, playing with a program with maybe some of the most talented players around you, entering into year 2 as a starter with unfinished business and on a 2-game losing streak, that combination, the elite accuracy, the elite weaponry, the elite program, and a super motivated quarterback with a chip on his shoulder, that is an extremely dangerous recipe for college football, which is why my number 1 quarterback heading into 26 is Julian Sayin from Ohio State. We always give you just a couple hot takes just to think about, just some food for thought as we head into the summer months. Just something to stew on. All right, hot take number 1. I think Dante Moore might outplay Julian Sayin this year. I still don't know if he'll have enough to win the Heisman Trophy. Because I look at Moore's numbers. He might throw up 3,400 yards and put up 35 touchdowns on an offense that averages 40 points a game. He could be the most dynamic quarterback in college football by October. But the Heisman, I think, is potentially heading towards Columbus. But Jeremiah Smith is Jeremiah Smith. And Heisman voters, they tend to kind of gravitate a little bit towards the brightest lights. And Moore will be potentially the more complete player. But I think Sands in a great position to potentially win the award. And we might have one of the most debated Heisman decisions in years. So write that down. Hot take number 2, Trinidad Chambliss will be a top 5 player on this list by the end of October. Now, had to battle a couple things this offseason, right? Now you have some coaching turnover, new OC. The confidence, however, has never wavered. And I think if you look at the game against LSU on September 19th, that game will be in Oxford. That's going to be incredible. And I think Chambliss, who's going to be playing the most motivated football of his life, I think he could go out and maybe have a moment against LSU that people will be remembering forever. And that could cement him as a possible Heisman candidate as well. Hot take number 3, Drew Mestemaker will be on this list by week 7. All right. Right now, all the numbers support him being on this list. The Burlsworth supports it. The touchdown interception ratio supports it. Same quarterback, same head coach, same offensive coordinator, same scheme. A lot of the same personnel that went as well. The only variable right now is the power 4 defenses that he'll be facing on the other side of the ball. So the first time he drops back in the Big 12 game and dissects that power 4 secondary, this conversation could change very, very quickly. And by week 7, y'all be telling me, why wasn't he on this list to begin with? So I'm telling you, that's going to happen. Hot take number 4, Byron Brown is Auburn's best player by November. And I think most people kind of see it coming, but I think he is the key for Alex Golesh in year number 2 if Auburn is going to overachieve, because he can do it all. The entire offensive receiving corps he's familiar with. He's one of only 2 quarterbacks in the country to have over 3,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards in the same season. And the SEC defensive coordinators, they're going to have to build a specific game plan around Byron Brown. So it's not a G5 guy anymore. This is an SEC story. So his competition level will go up drastically. I happen to think Byron Brown will be able to step up to the task. And hot take number 5, Arch Manning will finish the season as a Heisman Trophy finalist, but I don't think anyone is going to be that surprised by that, right? Healthy foot. You get Cam Coleman back on the outside. You get Hollywood Smothers and Raleek Brown in there. You got Wingo in there as well. You already have a good rushing numbers from a year ago. You know he's going to be motivated. You know he's going to be unrestricted. You know he's going to be healthy. And he has already weathered the storm. He's already battled adversity. And that is really helpful when taking on the expectations that Arch Manning will be taking on. So that's a wrap on the top 10 quarterback episode for 2026. And if you missed any of it, let's go through it real quickly. At number 10, Damon Williams from Washington. At number 9, Gunnar Stockton from Georgia. Number 8, Brennan Sorsby from Texas Tech. Number 7, Darian Mensah from Miami. Number 6, Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. Number 5, CJ Carr from Notre Dame. Number 4, Jaden Mayava from USC. Number 3, Arch Manning from
Every 40 seconds a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Freddie and Harry.
You know what made this decision? I'll give you 187 million reasons why. The contract of Joel Embiid. He even declined a $59 million per year option for the 2026-2027 season because he believes he's going to sign another contract. Money dictated that whole thing. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just stating what he believes. I'm just reporting the news here.
I'm sorry, Freddie. I was about to go in attack mode on you for no reason.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Wednesday, we'll react to a huge Game 5 at Madison Square Garden, plus look ahead to a franchise-altering Game 5 for the Pistons. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Jerome from Birmingham, previously from Paul Feinbaum Show.
I want to say something about Elliot's call. We don't have to keep telling Paul that the SEC is overrated. We saw that in the college football playoffs. They had 10 teams in the NCAA basketball tournament, and none of them showed up in the championship game. So you don't have to remind them, but it's okay if you do.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
He's outrageous and usually off base, I might add, but I love him anyways. That's why I sit across from the Mad Dog, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, every Wednesday to set him straight. First Take starts at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
From the Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is KRZI Waco, K222DC Waco, K265DV Temple, ESPN Central Texas. Sports Center.
It's Evan Cohen. Coming up Wednesday, the Lakers are up 3-1, but friend of show Kendrick Perkins believes it's a must-win for L.A. I'll tell you if I agree with them. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
The 2026 draft class is officially dismissed. Next up, the report cards. Mel Kiper and Field Yates give their final draft grades after an eventful weekend in the Steel City. That is coming up. Plus, as always, we respond to your questions, your takes, and your draft reactions live as First Draft starts right now.
But there's another tradition here. Got some pumpkin pie. What is the proper way to digest and eat it? Shake it up. Here we go. Okay, and what in a specific kind of whipped cream? You read that. Right? Fat-free ready whip, right? Hey, keep your finger. Take a piece. There you go. Wait. All right. Eat. All right. Take another piece.
Well, the final topping has been put on the dessert of the 2026 NFL Draft, but we are here to be the ready whipped cream, if you will, to finish everything up. I'm making as many analogies as I can. Stop me before I make it even more ridiculous. That's Field Yates. That's Mel Kiper. I'm Greeny, and here we are to wrap up a very eventful weekend in Pittsburgh in the 2026 NFL Draft. How was that whipped cream, quickly, Field?
I got to tell you, Greeny, that was pretty late in the draft broadcast. I was starting to lose a little bit of energy. That whipped cream and pumpkin pie was exactly what I needed. It was delightful. I'm actually starting to understand the method to Kiper's madness a little bit more.
Mel?
Yeah, it gets me going when you see that, the fat-free ready whipped cream and the pumpkin pie and the orange crushes. Fat-free milk as well will be a little bit of a plus there as well. But I think Field understood. Yeah, Field understood how to do it, Greeny, because you can't spray it all over the entire pie. It melts away. It's fat-free, right? Regular Ready Whip, you can do that with. With the red top, you can do it. The baby blue top, you can't do that. You got to have a basically a technique of how to do it properly. And Field was able to exercise and do it perfectly. So we worked out good on day 3, Greeny. But again, now we have to review everything. And guess what? Yeah, I look back at my grades that I had to do on the drive back after it was all over. I'm driving back from the draft in Pittsburgh to my home here on Kent Island. And I was trying to figure out, do I want to be a hard grader? Do I want to make it easy? Because when you start this thing, if you're hard and easy or easy, you got to keep it consistent. So I hope at the end of the day, fielding didn't have any problem and you didn't agree with any of the grades. If you did, let me know. I'm happy to deal with any criticism you may have today.
Well, that's what today's podcast is going to be about. We're going to go through Mel's grades one by one, and we will take them apart. But Field, quickly, just a big picture takeaway from you on the 2026 NFL Draft before we dive in with Professor Kuiper.
Well, Greeny, unbelievable energy from the city of Pittsburgh all weekend long. The weather was also comparably unbelievable. I was sweating by the middle of the day on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So thank you to Mother Nature for cooperating with us. It's such an honor to be a part of the draft coverage. And gentlemen, we really, really feel this on Thursday night. The energy that the NFL and the mystique that the NFL has been able to create, and a lot of it is owed to Mel Kiper Jr., surrounding the NFL draft, is special and remarkable. It's a little bit different than an NFL game, and in some ways better, and I'll say this for this reason why. If you're getting geared up for, let's say, the Seahawks open up their season this upcoming year against the Bears, that Wednesday night game, we'll all be excited because we're football fans, and especially Seahawks and Bears fans. But every football fan gets so geared up for night 1 of the NFL draft, because even if your team doesn't own a first-round pick, there's still the capacity to trade back into the first round. The energy was palpable. The 16 players in the green room brought the noise, brought the juice, brought the energy. There's nothing like the NFL draft. And while I'll be very happy to tempo down a little bit over the next couple of weeks here, I already cannot wait for the 2027 NFL draft.
Yeah, I'll just say, yeah, go ahead, Mel.
I'll just say this real quick, Ray. As a Ravens fan, everybody knew it. I think all the Steeler fans knew. Here's a Raven fan coming to Pittsburgh. I was a little nervous, frankly. I was a little nervous going in about how I was going to be received. Okay, my brother, my son-in-law is a Steeler fan, and we're good. We have a rivalry here back and forth. But to go into Pittsburgh, into the Steel City, and have to deal with Steeler fans and see how they were going to react to my purple, right, and my Ravens, they were so nice and so respectful and just had fun with everything. So there was no hate, no animosity, nothing like that, no craziness. They were a nice, pure football fans who love the rivalry, embrace it, and they'll boo, they'll have fun, but couldn't be nicer. Everybody we dealt with in Pittsburgh, the welcome mat was extended. I think that everybody was thrilled with the way everything went, and those fans of Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are the best.
It was great. Everything about it was great. And I'll say this, I've been covering sports on one level or another for 35 years. Nothing feels bigger than the draft when you're there. I've been to everything. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to NBA Finals. I've been to World Series. I'm not suggesting this is bigger than that. I'm saying it doesn't feel bigger. When you are at the NFL draft, you feel like you are in the center of the universe. It is a wonderful event they have created, and so let's dive into it. If you go on ESPN.com and the ESPN app right now, you will see all of Mel's draft grades. We're going to dive into many of them on today's podcast, and let's start with the Rams, because they made Mel the most surprising move of this entire NFL draft weekend, selecting Ty Simpson, number 13 overall. What grade did you give the Rams?
Well, I think when you look at the way the Rams were, put together and everything we needed to know about this football team was they were maybe a player away from maybe winning another Super Bowl, right? It wasn't going to be Ty Simpson. So C+ in that area for not taking Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon could have been that guy, wide receiver out of USC, end up going to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So I think when you look at where we are right now with Ty Simpson, it's a great situation for him. He can sit behind Matthew Stafford. It's not helping this team win another Super Bowl with Matthew. Now, they may not need that player. They would have taken the first round with Lemon or whoever it would have been. And they may in 4 or 5 years when Ty Simpson's winning say, hey, how are you doing with us now? What do you think about that grade now? Ty Simpson will have no excuses in 3-4 years. He's going to have a chance to sit behind Matthew Stafford. I don't know how long that's going to be. He's going to be in a perfect system. He's going to be, guess what, in the right stadium, okay? Because he doesn't have the howitzer for an arm. He's going to have a chance to get bigger, stronger. Hope that arm keeps improving. So for the Los Angeles Rams, this is all it's about. We had said, the Rams at 29, they could take him, but they didn't have the pick. Went for McDuffie. No way you're taking him at 13. No way, yes way. Yes way, they did. So we're going to be looking at this. This is going to be a really fun ride to see what happens with both the Rams, because they want to win a Super Bowl, how impactful Mekhi Lemon will be in Philadelphia, because that ties to the Rams, and where we are in 3 or 4 years with Ty Simpson.
Let's start here. I think it's easier to address the Ty Simpson side of this and the Rams side of it. I think for Ty, as Mel just said, it's the best possible landing spot for the upside of Ty Simpson. Maybe not playing as soon as possible, but for becoming the best version of Ty Simpson. I truly believe the Rams are the single best place he could have landed, right? He goes somewhere where he does not have to start right away. Matthew Stafford will play for at least this season, and it sounds like the Rams would like him to play for 2 or 3 more years, not just 2026. On top of that, he has, I would argue, a top 3 at worst head coach in Sean McVay, an offensive specialist in Sean McVay, a coach who has shown his capacity to maximize players, even if those players have limitations.
It's maybe by the next 15, 20 minutes.
That has shown itself to...
Yes or no, they're on the ESPN right now.
Year after the Super Bowl where they were really bad and they got right back into it. People thought they were all in, they were going to be screwed for 3 seasons. No, they were right back just basically 1 year later. The Rams are always going to have good infrastructure around Ty Simpson. So long as McVay and Les Snead are the head coach.
If you want to put our video back on, if you want me to, you can.
Which I think I'm comfortable with. For the team, it's fascinating. It is completely fascinating. Everything about their actions this
year. So it should be back soon, right?
Rams intend to win big this year. They were going to throw as many resources towards this year as they could. And man, and I got this impression. I don't know if you guys felt differently. Greeny, especially you. You got your pulse on the finger of these sorts of things. A finger on the pulse of these sorts of things, excuse me. It felt like what the Rams really wanted to do was to move back from 13, acquire extra draft capital, and take Ty Simpson a little bit later than 13. They ultimately couldn't find a trade partner to do so. So they had to do what they could do, which was take a player in Ty Simpson that maybe on their board would have been perfect at number 20 or 22 or 25. It did not seem to me like Ty Simpson was going to go somewhere between 13 and maybe wherever the Cardinals traded up to later on in the first round. The Rams opted for the bird in the hand with no ability to trade back. But yeah, it's fascinating because like the Packers had to deal with for a couple of years with Aaron Rodgers still on the roster and winning MVPs when Jordan Love was their first-round pick and a backup, you're going to deal with some pushback and some blowback. The Packers have been richly rewarded with that decision now as Jordan Love is a very, very good quarterback. Maybe the Rams will be as well. But there is a lot of risk in making this move given all the players that were available, like a Kenyon Sadiq, like a Mekhi Lemon, maybe to address the offensive line a little bit further. The Rams are sort of kicking the can a little bit here. The reward would be that maybe they have quarterback stability for when you factor in Jared Goff, plus Matthew Stafford, plus Ty Simpson, a 2+ decade run.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod. along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
ESPN presents the Stanley Cup Playoffs, the most exciting playoffs out there. A 2-month roller coaster filled with sudden death overtimes and good old-fashioned chaos.
Unbelievable!
Every shift matters. Every series is a statement, and everyone gets their shot at the cup.
Scores!
The Stanley Cup Playoffs, presented by Geico. Continue on ABC, ESPN, and the ESPN app.
He's outrageous and usually off base, I might add, but I love him anyways. That's why I sit across from the Mad Dog, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, every Wednesday to set him straight. First Take starts at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
On Saturday, May 9th, after the biggest weekend in WWE, what happens at WrestleMania doesn't stay there.
Sweet, sweet revenge.
It follows you. And in Tampa, it's back.
All scores are settled. It's personal. It's Backlash.
Stream Backlash Saturday, May 9th at 6 Eastern on the ESPN app with the ESPN Unlimited plan.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Wednesday, we'll react to a huge Game 5 at Madison Square Garden. Plus, look ahead to a franchise-altering Game 5 for the Pistons. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Yeah, history tells us Matt Stafford's not going to like it. People will say whatever they want, but history tells us the great aging quarterback does not want the team to use the resources on selecting his eventual replacement. They want them to use the resources. Matt Stafford's got the Super Bowl in his own building this year. Yeah. He wants to be carried off. He wants to end like John Elway ended and Peyton Manning ended, and that is, be carried off winning a championship, and Ty Simpson will contribute, if everything goes right, absolutely nothing to that this year, and that's the part of this that I think you criticize if you want to be critical. Okay, let's move on. Let's go from that all the way to the very top of the draft. The Raiders started at the top of the board. I have a social post here from Mitchell, who tweets, really proud of the Raiders for crushing the 2026 NFL draft. Thank you, John Spytek and Clint Kubiak. Mel, what grade did you give the Raiders?
Certainly an A. There's no question. I don't know what you would have thought of grade-wise, but how can you not give this team an A? Look at the players they were to select after Fernando Mendoza. Look what they had going in before the draft even occurred in terms of this football team on paper. Looked pretty good. That they were developing some talent there. Trayton Stukes, we had talked about maybe as a late first-round pick. We knew he'd go within the first 5, 6, 7 picks of the round 2, and he did. Okay, a corner with great versatility, safety. You can move him around slot. Keron Crawford outproduced Keldrick Falk off the edge. Trey Zune is going to be playing guard. You have Tyler Linderbaum at center. We thought Trey Zune could be a center. Well, there will be a guard. And again, you're talking about the offensive line for Mendoza. Jermod McCoy, are you kidding me? You get him in the 4th round? The knee situation, there's no risk. It's all about reward, right? Mike Washington Jr., third best running back. Get him in the 4th round. Amazing. And then you get Zeke Massas, a corner out of California. Malik Benson, Brandon Cleveland. That's an A. I could have given it an A+. I don't know why I didn't. I must have been a little hungry driving back. I was out in a great mood because an A+ draft, really. Mendoza's got a lot of things to be happy about, and he'll be behind Kirk for a while, Kirk Cousins. But, boy, I'll tell you, Field, I'd say everything fell beautifully for the Raiders.
Couldn't agree more, Mel, and I get it. This team had a lot of high draft picks, so the potential for this to happen for them was different compared to teams that were picking later on in the order, like, for example, the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Mel always tells me, though, Greeny, what's the point of doing ratings unless you're going to put stock into those ratings once the draft has taken place? Well, I got news for you. Only one team had 5 of my top 100 players on my big board land with their franchise. Las Vegas Raiders. By the way, the Raiders had 6 of my top 109 because Trey Zune, who they took at the end of the third, was 109th on my overall big board. Kieran Crawford, a player that I've talked about plenty on this podcast. People know how much I like about him as a prospect as well. Jermon McCoy, to me, and Mel said it, it's basically no downside. I would argue it's no downside as well. Here's where I felt on Jermon McCoy. There was going to come a point in the order where the risk was outweighed by the reward. I believe it was well before pick 101. Well before that. Now, maybe we'll be proven wrong. Maybe he can never get on the football field for the Las Vegas Raiders. I hope that's not true. But absent it being that scenario, I don't know how you don't love this roll of the dice. If he plays for a couple of years but ultimately can't hold up, if he has a year in which he is the player that we thought he could be, if he has a 10-year career in which he can become the player that we thought he could be, we're going to be sitting here saying one of the greatest picks of the last decade by any NFL team. I love the Jermon McCoy move. I'm happy if I'm Fernando Mendoza with the organization being so aligned between the coaching staff and the scouting staff as well. So John Spytek and that crew and his director of college scouting, Brandon Yergin, and all the area scouts that are out there right now, they should be, resting comfortably after a long process because I thought they absolutely crushed it.
Yeah. They're the team that always gets it wrong, and suddenly maybe the worm is turning in Vegas. Speaking of which, the New York Jets, for a very long time, have been the team that always gets it wrong, although I will throw in as a caveat to that, they have drafted some very good players in recent years. They just haven't won with them. Mel, they had 3 first-round picks this year and a very busy draft. What was your grade for the New York Jets?
I gave an A-. And people say, why not an A or an A+? Because you go by your grades again. I would have taken Arvell Reese over David Bailey, but I really love David Bailey, too, as a pass rusher. I think a little more complete. We'll see how he does in the NFL. That was the whole debate was, who do you take, Reese or Bailey? And Reese ends up going to the New York Giants, thanks to the New York Jets taking David Bailey. It's amazing how all these things worked out with Dallas right behind the Giants, taking Downs, and Philadelphia making a deal with Dallas. Now the Eagles to get Mekhi Lim. Was crazy how all these things worked out. But David Bailey for Aaron Glenn needs to win football games. Who's better rushing the passer right now? It's David Bailey. So it made sense, okay? No question about that. Then you get to Kenyon Sadiq.
Yes, sir.
Excellent player. Been raving about him all weapon in that offense. And then to get Omar Cooper Jr. late first round. They like him going in the mid-first round there.
Don't worry, Tom. Thank you, bud.
Who I loved in the middle of the first round. But when you look at Sadiq, he's a major piece of the equation because you can move him around F, Y, all over the place. Put him in the backfield. He's a young kid. He's still developing. He can be scary good in terms of the player he can be once he becomes more consistent catching the ball. Blocking keeps improving. He's incredibly smart. We talked about his football IQ after the combine meetings was raved at. Everybody raved about it. Wowed everybody over. So for Kenyon Sadiq, great spot there. Get Omar Cooper Jr., who's a good player. I don't know if he's elite, but I thought a very solid player. I had him at 35. I'm not going to have a problem with a guy at 35 on my board. Goes just a little bit earlier. So to get 3 players of that caliber, give him a lot of credit. Great job. We'll see. I would have gone a little bit differently, but be curious your take. Would it landed the way the Jets took those players? Would it have gone that way for you?
It would have gone close to that way for me. Mel, they got 3 of my top 20 players. All 3 were taken in the top 30. As Cooper was 20th on my final big board. Sadiq, I think, was 17th. And Dave Bailey was number 3 for me. So those guys are all either right in the range or even a little bit earlier, or a little bit later than where I had them on the overall big boards. That's good value all the way there. D'Angelo Pons was slightly above where they took him at pick 50, but not a dramatic reach by any stretch of the imagination. I think he was like 57. So I loved all 4 of their first 4 picks. Again, a reminder, as I said with the Raiders, when you're picking high, we're prone to like your drafts when you are picking high and you've got extra draft capital, right? Because the closer you are to 1, the closer you are to taking players that many people feel are in the same buckets. I have been talking about this for the Jets all throughout the season. It's not just the 1-year snapshot, it's the 2-year snapshot. It's between the 2026 and the 2027 NFL draft. The Jets have an opportunity to come away with 9 players, 9, that can be foundational building blocks. Nothing they did this past weekend made me feel like they are off that path at all. They are very much still on the path towards landing those 9 building blocks. 3 1s and 2 2s next year. Greeny, you are a Jets fan. I've had this conversation with Jets fans over the past couple of days. One of the sentiments has been, thanks for that, but we're still the Jets. We'll find a way to screw it up. I have believed, and I feel this way even stronger now than I did going into the draft weekend, that since he was hired as the GM, Darren Muji, and yes, I didn't win many games last year, has been a process-oriented, fundamentally sound, responsible GM. I like a lot of what he has done. Now, you got to start winning games for us to feel a whole lot better about the results, not just the process. I think the Jets have something going in the front office right now. I truly believe that. There's a gigantic, massive quarterback question mark. This weekend was a good one for the Jets. It's going to take 2 or 3 more years, but I like what the Jets have done over the past, call it 16 months, a whole lot.
Yes,
I
me
think
too.
It's great. I was curious to ask you, Cade Klubnik, we're not even discussing the 4th-round pick. And Cade Klubnik was a quarterback that back in August people were projecting to be a very high first-round pick. Now, the wheels came off at Clemson. He's an athlete. He's a dual threat. And obviously, you think about where we're going to be with a 4th-round pick next year when Arch Manning and Dante Moore and all these other quarterbacks are in the draft. And you're talking about the Jets with those picks and could land a quarterback of that caliber. But where's Cade Klubnik going to be viewed by then? Is he going to become Kirk Cousins? Is he going to have a chance to show anything this year? I think he probably will, but he's not going to go in the year thinking anything other than, okay, what are we going to learn from about Cade Klubnik before next year's draft? And we're going to be looking at another quarterback. So Frank Reich was obviously a key entity in making these choices, this choice for a quarterback in the 4th round, and Cade Klubnik from Clemson. So I think it's going to be intriguing to see. Does he get on the field? What does he show? How do they feel internally? Because next year you do not know what's going to happen with these quarterbacks.
Yeah, to me, Cade Klubnik going in the 4th round would be the only one of the Jets picks that you could question. And I would say if what you're questioning is their 4th-round flyer on a quarterback, that's pretty good. Yeah. And to address Field, the first thing you said, and this is the only one that I'll get into because this is my team and whatever, if you're going to say, well, they're the Jets, they'll find a way to screw it up, then you were going to say that no matter what they did.
Fair.
So you're not giving them, then at that point, you're not giving them any chance. I thought they had a great draft.
Totally.
My Jets group text went nuts when they took Sadiq at 16 because they all wanted them to take Omar Cooper. And then they wind up getting him at 30. So I thought they did great. And then D'Angelo Pons, who I understand Field might have taken slightly higher than people had him rated.
This much.
But if there's anybody who knows how to use him, it should be Aaron Glenn because the comp on him is Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I think someone jokingly said Aaron Glenn just drafted himself in the 2nd round with the Jets. So I thought they had a fantastic weekend. Whether it translates to wins or not is ultimately the only thing that matters.
Just to put an exclamation point, what we're going to be judging this draft on 3 years from now is where's Reese, where's Bailey, where's Lemon, where's Cooper? That's what we're going to be judging it on. And Klubnik, if he develops fine, he's a 4th-round pick. They'll be in the Arch sweepstakes next year. We'll see. But I think those are the players, Reese, Bailey, and then Lemon and Cooper Jr. And that will determine whether this is an A-plus draft or a draft where they could have gone a different direction. It might have been a little bit better.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Amber and Ian. I want an instant reaction right now. It's your birthday. I don't give you a damn thing. I'm your husband. Go.
I don't think my husband got me anything this past birthday at all. This birthday, I got him a box of meat, Ian. I went to a local farm here, and I got, local meat.
I would have hugged the hell out of you. This is the greatest birthday gift
ever. It was a killer gift.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Wednesday, General Manager of the Rams, Les Snead, joins us. The actor Chase Crawford from The Boys joins us in studio. That's Wednesday's Rich Eisen Show on Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
We'll be crying between me, Freddie Coleman, and Harry Douglas on Wednesday after my Knicks take on his Hawks in Game 5 on Tuesday. All that and so much more in the Wednesday Groovathon edition of Freddie and Harry, 3 p.m. Eastern Time at the mighty ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and ESPN Plus.
How are you? My name's Scott Van Pelt, host of SV Pod, along with my partner in crime, Stanford Steve. What do we talk about mostly on the podcast, Steve?
Sports.
Some.
Parenting.
I feel like that comes up a lot. I feel like most recently I've needed some help because I feel like my shortcomings there are evident. It's life stuff, relatable content.
It's fun.
It's just two bald-headed goons just talking about nonsense a lot in a crowded podcast space. There's that one.
We're here.
Here we are.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Wednesday, we'll react to a huge Game 5 at Madison Square Garden, plus look ahead to a franchise-altering Game 5 for the Pistons. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
He's outrageous and usually off base, I might add, but I love him anyways. That's why I sit across from the Mad Dog, Christopher Mad Dog Russo, every Wednesday to set him straight. First Take starts at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Sir.
This is Sports Center.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Hey, Baylor fans, this is your call to gear up with Harley-Davidson of Waco. Whether you're hitting the open road or tailgating at McLean Stadium, we've got the ride to match your Bear pride. Check out our wide selection of new and pre-owned motorcycles. Visit our service department or shop all the latest gear and accessories to show off your Baylor spirit and Harley pride. Visit us today and find your freedom on two wheels. Harley-Davidson of Waco, where Baylor fans never ride alone. Visit in-store or at hdwaco.com. Sic 'em Bears.
Y'all listen up. Let me tell you something about group meals from Rudy's Barbecue. It's got all you need for all the folks you gotta feed. Smoked meat, sides, and more. There's everything down to the tablecloth, just like the one that you see at the store. And a bridal shower, it's better than flowers. And a long distance meeting, it'll pass the hours. It'll beat all the cousins at a family function. It's better than potluck at a church luncheon. Next time you need to feed 10 or more, call and order a Rudy's group meal.
Next in line.
This has been live coverage of Baylor baseball.
Hey, Tom. It never got close to Waco.
Brought to you by Bubba's 33.
Yeah.
Scratch made, food for all.
About 20.
Toyota, let's go places. Baylor Scott and White, the official hospital and healthcare system of Baylor Athletics. Your healthcare, your way. Premier ER and urgent care. Feel better now. Rudy's Barbecue, the home of real Texas barbecue. Stay tuned as we break down the game. Listen to highlights, talk with Coach Thompson, players, and more. All coming up on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
don't just build trucks. We build something that's meant to last. That's why the 2026 Toyota Tundra isn't just built in Texas. It's built by Texas. Every line, weld, and seal, shaped with the pride, heat, and strength that only Texas really knows. The Tundra's built to tough it out and to take it easy. Built to carry tradition and to make new ones. Built to roll with the punches and to go the distance. Built stronger, built louder, built here. The 2026 Toyota Tundra. Built in Texas, driven everywhere. Test drive at your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places. Feature availability differs based on trim. See Toyota.com for details.
Yeah.
Want to earn points while cheering on your favorite Baylor teams? Join Baylor Bold Rewards. Track your attendance on the Baylor Sports app across athletic events.
I don't have the interview.
Points towards prizes and experiences. Download the app or register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com and start earning your points today.
Baylor fans, ready to keep it cool this season? Ice and Easy delivers premium ice lightning fast. From tailgates to restaurants, construction sites, concerts, and races, Ice and Easy has you covered. Game day or work day, keep your drinks cold and your spirits bold. Ice and Easy, we deliver.
No, I didn't get it.
Proud supporter of the Baylor Bears.
You're listening to Baylor Baseball on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
about it.
Here with head coach Mitch Thompson, a 6-2 Baylor win. Shortened by the weather, but just maximizes the importance of taking advantage when you did tonight. It seemed like that two-run single by Dillon really got things going.
Yeah, it did. It was a big swing. We needed to get some runs across and get the field, loosen us up a little bit. And then Tice had a couple big swings as well. And I'm pleased with the way that we played. And we got to keep working at it, keep improving. But a win's a win, and we'll take every one of them.
I know we've had some questions. Y'all been studying the rule books with this kind of weird resumption, but Tice Armstrong, 2 home runs tonight. He's at 18. He's up there with names like Chris Durbin, Jason Jennings, names like John Topolsky, Charlie Carter aren't too far off. Guys you recruited. I'll state the obvious. That's a special list he's on.
It is a special list, and this ballpark, the way this ballpark plays most of the time, comparatively to other ballparks, and comparatively to the time when those guys that you just mentioned were swinging the bat with the hot bats, it's pretty special. It's a pretty special deal for him to be at 18 right now. I hope he keeps going.
I'll go back to you.
And you look at his ability to go yard anytime. How much confidence does that give the teammates when he's up there in key situations?
Well, he just takes good quality at bats. He's a very mature hitter. He's a very mature approach, and it doesn't always work out for him. I mean, he's had his days, but if he gets it, he's going to hit it pretty hard, and he's strong and he's physical and smart, and it gives everybody confidence knowing that he's hitting in our 4-hole.
The team's been close in some games, but hadn't won in the last 6. How big is it to get that winning taste in your mouth heading back into Big 12?
Well, that's what we talked about all day. Sunday after the game at ASU and today, I just said, hey, it's an 11-game season at this point in time, and that's what it truly is. It's an 11-game season, and tonight's opening night. And so we got one done, and now we're going to start back on Friday, and we'll try and go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and see if we can go one at a time in those 3 and just keep going one at a time. So we got a 10-game season now, so here we go.
Make it happen, Coach. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Derek.
Bears head coach Mitch Thompson with his post-game comments. We'll hear from Tice Armstrong in just a moment.
All right, so the Bears win tonight by a final of 6-2. Tice unable to be with us. He had some other media requirements.
Yeah, they were all going in there. They were having a team meeting already. They were talking about Coach Thompson. Tom was talking about this being a 10-game season. Mm-hmm. I think that they're buying in. They're taking it seriously, and they were already talking. As I was walking down, you could really hear them talking as a team, and that's good. I think it just feels good to win. It's been a little too long.
Yeah, you stop a 6-game skid, Derek, and that's got to be weight off the shoulders. And again, they played well. They got in some jams on the mound, but they also were able to minimize the trouble where they weren't able to do that in Phoenix, and they minimized the trouble tonight, and they also got going offensively and created traffic on the bases, which was void in Phoenix. They just didn't do that. I mean, everything seemed to be solo home run, but tonight there was traffic on the bases. They executed once they got the traffic on the bases. They minimized UTA's opportunities, played well. And they needed that to get off that 6-game losing streak and now prepare for Texas Tech, who was supposed to play Oklahoma tonight up in Frisco, but because of the inclement weather up there, that game never got underway. So Tech is going to come to town having not played since last Sunday.
And they got swept at home
by
our Oklahoma State. I mean, you want to prolong their misery, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a Texas Tech team that has traditionally been good. They are struggling this year. Keep it up. And Tom, I'll mention again, I'll tell you this. There is a chance that we will find out in the next 24 hours or so that last Tice Armstrong home run did not count and that the final score of this game is 5-2. I don't believe that's the case, and I don't think anyone else believes that's the case. But because there does seem to be conflicting reports, it's possible. However, the final box score that's going up is 6-2. Luke McLeod with a save and Tice Armstrong with 2 home runs. And on NCAA.org, it seems to be unambiguous where it says here, if a regulation game is called, include the record of all individual and team actions up to the moment the game ends as specified in Rule 5.8b. By the way, Tom, only in baseball, I believe, would we be having this discussion regarding plays that have no bearing on the actual outcome of the game. It's not quite like, it's funny, like when Jim Joyce called that runner safe at first base, Tigers still won the game, but only in baseball would there be that kind of drama and debate about it. And I think that's kind of what we got here just a little bit.
Well, to your point, our good friend Mark Dickinson, who's a member of the Heart of the Order,
yep.
he is sending me clips from rule books. And, yes, if a Big 12 baseball game governed by NCAA rules is called in the bottom half of an inning, the home team is ahead. At least 4.5 or 5 innings have been played. The game is considered a regulation official game. The statistics from the incomplete inning do count.
See, that should be good.
So,
thank you, Mark.
Yeah, again, it's just like you said, though. I mean, in the big scheme of things, of your wins and your losses, does it matter? No, but it does matter because it's baseball, and he hit a home run, and that's the rules, and you go by,
Oh, yeah.
that's the beauty of this thing,
isn't it? If Tice
it?
finishes at 21 or 22 home runs,
absolutely, it
deal.
does absolutely matter, doesn't it?
It does.
So thanks, Mark. We appreciate
that. I'll tell you what, though, it's Max Calderon, Brent Ingram. They actually had a rule book down in the dugout.
How about that?
Conferring. I think, and I think ultimately the game was going to end when it ended, but everybody wanted Tice to get credit for that home run.
No question. And I'm telling you, it was over the batter's eye. He smoked it over the center field wall, and there you go. All right. That's it's so we're going to roll with 6-2 until somebody who's more of an authoritative figure than us comes through and says no.
Luke McLeod gets a save.
Yeah.
for not pitching the last inning of the game.
Yeah. So who got the win? I didn't even look.
Oh, the win goes to Charlie Atkinson.
There you go.
Luke Atkinson gets the save in a game that he did not throw the last pitch. I don't know that I've ever seen that, Tom.
Yeah, and there's more lightning, so let's go.
Yeah, let's get home, Tom.
Yeah.
6-2 the final.
Tech is coming to town, Derek, and I can't wait to welcome the Red Raiders here Friday night at 6:30.
6:30. We'll be on the air at 6:15. Hope you can make it out to the ballpark, but the Bears will try to get back on the winning track in Big 12 play. Now that's the next goal, and it starts Friday night. Tom, it was fun. Let's get back together Friday and try to make it 2 in a row for this team.
Absolutely, and I get to keep the baseball.
There you go. You've got